Chapter 2105. Fen, cut the crap. Is there a way or not? Seeing that Fen was serious, Little Pig could only say, Master. The celestial devouring bug is a bug from the celestial world. There are almost no magic treasures in the cultivation world that can deal with it, unless it's something from the celestial world. Something from the celestial world. Fen immediately thought of the few items from the celestial world on him, the immortal stones, the tree of life, and the life immortal armor. The tree of life couldn't be taken out of the astral world, so Fen eliminated it. He immediately put on the life immortal armor and rushed to the foot of the mountain with the two immortal stones in his hands. Damn! Someone dares to fly down the mountain? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? It's the young hero that Hong Ming took a fancy to. This guy really isn't afraid of death. He dares to fight a true form realm mighty figure and ignore the black mists devouring. Who is he? You guys are still in the mood to care about that guy. Talk if you can get out of here alive. Fen could no longer hear everyone's discussion. He instantly rushed into the black fog, and the sound of teeth grinding rang out beside his ears. Even the celestial devouring bugs were shocked by Fen's actions. The black mist paused for a moment and then surged towards Fen. At that moment, Fen finally saw the true face of the black mist. It was formed by countless black flying bugs, just like the blue flame formed by the ice spirit bug he had encountered in the Nine Heavens snow region not long ago. However, the celestial devouring bugs were smaller than the ice spirit bug. They weren't even 1/10 the size of a pinky. These bugs were completely black and made of an unknown substance. They were translucent like jellyfish in the sea. The tiny grinding of teeth came from these celestial devouring bugs. It seemed to be a special sound produced by the friction between them and the air when they flew. However, Fen quickly realized that this wasn't a simple sound of wind. It was a powerful magnetic field created by the celestial devouring bugs using their spiritual consciousness. It could paralyze a cultivator's thoughts. Before, Fen hadn't noticed the effect of this sound. Now that he was in the black mist, he felt like his brain was about to explode and his spiritual consciousness was in a stabbing pain. Fen was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat. If he really sank into this sound, he wouldn't even need to wait for his body to be engulfed. His sea of consciousness would be destroyed first. At this moment, he deeply understood the terror of the devouring immortal insects. These insects would first destroy a cultivator's consciousness and then devour them unscrupulously. No wonder some of the cultivators at the foot of the mountain not long ago stood motionless in their places, not even struggling to escape. Those cultivators obviously had their spiritual consciousness eaten up. After thinking about it, Fen immediately operated the soul returning technique. Suddenly, there seemed to be something surging in his sea of consciousness. The aura of his consciousness instantly skyrocketed, as if it was about to come out at any moment. Fen had already rushed towards the entrance of the cave on his flying sword. At this time, the entire foot of the mountain was shrouded in black fog. He found that his line of sight was severely obstructed, and he couldn't even tell where the entrance of the cave was. The sound of teeth grinding became more and more frequent, which meant that the surrounding celestial devouring insects were rushing towards him. Fortunately, these celestial devouring insects didn't seem to have fully matured. After he circulated the soul returning technique, the interference from the divine sense didn't have much effect on him anymore. Whoosh! The flying sword flashed by, bringing with it an afterglow. On the mountain peak that was shrouded in black fog, it was like a twinkling star. Master! The celestial armor of life is really useful. Little Pig's voice rang in Fen's mind. Fen was only focused on operating the soul returning technique to suppress the divine sense attack, but he forgot that he was already inside the black fog. The black fog didn't swallow him up, and he wasn't even hurt at all. Qianfen was pleasantly surprised and searched for the reason. Soon, he understood. It turned out that the aura of life released by the celestial armor of life affected the celestial devouring insects. Those insects carried an aura of death, which was incompatible with the aura of life on the celestial armor of life. Gradually, they formed two different auras. Qianfen's body was shrouded in a bright moonlight, like a lighthouse in the middle of the night. It was faintly discernible in the black fog, as if it would be annihilated at any time. However, the aura of the halo was extremely tenacious, and its aura didn't decrease. Instead, it continued to strengthen. As long as the celestial devouring insects approached, they would be blocked outside, forming a spectacular scene like a moth flying into a flame. Qianfen wasn't in the mood to admire the magnificent scene in front of him. He let out a long sigh of relief. At least he was temporarily safe and wouldn't be eaten by the celestial devouring insects. However, after he calmed down, Qianfen encountered a new problem. Currently, more than half of the main peak was occupied by the celestial devouring insects. It was a scene of death and darkness. Qianfen didn't even know where he was, let alone find the cave entrance. Master! Fly to the top of the mountain and split the mountain, Little Pig said anxiously. Qianfen's eyes brightened. This was a good idea. He stayed behind to destroy the nest of these insects. Since he couldn't find the cave entrance, why not just raise the mountain to the ground? That way, the nest would naturally be destroyed. With this idea in mind, Qianfen immediately took action. Although he couldn't find the cave entrance in the black fog, he could still find the position of the mountain peak. As the flying sword continued to rise, the black fog gradually faded. Several hours later, Qianfen reached the top of the mountain again. When he looked down at the scene below, he felt as if he had fallen into hell. Rumble! Without hesitation, he slashed with his sword. As the ruler fell, a beautiful purple light was drawn from the mountain peak. The sword energy collided with the mountain peak and created a loud sound. The mountain peak was harder than Qianfen had expected. His full-force attack only shattered a piece of mountain rock. If he continued at this speed, he probably wouldn't be able to split the mountain peak even after a year. Master! Just use the 100-mile light sniper to blast it, Little Pig suggested. Qianfen had already thought of using the sniper, but his heart ached to use it. The sniper's energy slot was filled with the lightning tribulation triggered by Hongming's breakthrough. This kind of true-form lightning tribulation only appeared once every few hundred years. Qianfen had originally saved it to save his life, but now that he had no other choice, he could only use it to blast the mountain. When he took out the 100-mile light sniper and the heaven bell, Qianfen couldn't help but laugh. Using true-form lightning tribulation to split the mountain? In the entire Divine Supreme Continent, he was probably the only one who could do such a thing. Rumble! The trigger was pulled. Several lightning bolts as thick as a person's waist exploded on the mountain peak. The power of the true-form lightning tribulation was indeed powerful. It wasn't something that Qianfen's all-out attack with the ruler could compare to. The towering mountain peak instantly split open. A small part of the mountain peak fell down, but there was no loud crash. This sky-piercing main peak was immeasurably high. Even if Qianfen used all his strength to activate the flying sword, it would take him several hours, let alone the time it took for the mountain to fall. For a moment, thunder rumbled and lightning bolts crisscrossed. The mountain peak shook violently from the explosion. Huge rocks tumbled down. It was a scene of destruction. Qianfen couldn't care less about the true-form lightning in the energy slot. The lightning tribulation's finger never loosened from the trigger. A few hours later, the entire sky-piercing main peak seemed to have become a lightning mountain. Lightning bolts flowed on the mountain, creating layers of sparks as they collided. the mountain peak gradually became shorter. When more than half of the mountain had collapsed, the lightning source in the energy slot was used up. Qianfen immediately put away the 100-mile light sniper and swung the ruler again. The purple sword energy merged with the sea of lightning, creating another fierce explosion. Rumble. Another few hours later, an earth-shattering sound came from the valley. Qianfen stopped attacking. The flying sword under his feet cut through the air and instantly rushed underground. The black fog at the foot of the mountain was extremely thick, as if water was about to drip out. This time, Qianfen identified the position halfway up the mountain and adjusted the direction of the flying sword. Suddenly, there was a loud noise. Qianfen felt that he had broken through some obstacle. When he opened his eyes again, the scene in front of him changed greatly. He was actually in a small cave abode. Where is this? Qianfen muttered to himself. Little Pig's voice sounded in his mind, Master. This seems to be the real bottom of the mountain. Qianfen had already probed with his divine sense. Soon, he found that Little Pig's guess was right. He was now standing under the sky-piercing main peak. However, the sky-piercing main peak no longer existed. It was completely destroyed by the explosion. Even the hidden cave abode where he stood was affected. Rocks tumbled down from the stone walls. As for the cave ceiling, it had been blown open and connected to the sky. Immortal Stone Array. Qianfen's gaze was attracted by a formation platform in the depths of the cave. His expression changed greatly. He immediately flew over and found that there was a hidden small cave abode inside. In the small cave abode, there was a floating formation platform. On the formation platform, there was an immortal stone compass. There were hundreds of immortal stones on the compass. This scene was exactly the same as the Immortal Stone Array in the Purple Cloud Mountain Range. Moreover, around the floating compass, there were 9 spirit crystal pillars. There were also 4 blooming phoenix flowers floating above 4 spirit marrow ponds. Qianfen remembered that the cave abode in Purple Cloud Mountain Range also had spirit marrow ponds and phoenix flowers. Phoenix flowers were one of the extremely precious level 9 spirit herbs. They could be used to refine tribulation initiation pills and demon phoenix pills. There was no record of the demon phoenix pills' effects. However, there was a record of the tribulation initiation pills' effects. That was a miraculous pill used by peak cauldron-filling realm experts to break through to the disaster transformation realm. It could weaken the bottleneck and greatly increase the success rate of breaking through. There was also a record that the Phoenix Flower was a necessary formation flag for the Great Sky Demon Array. As for what the Great Sky Demon Array was for, there was no record of it. Qianfen suddenly thought of Chu Fan's writing that he found in the 9 Heavens Snow Domain cave abode. It recorded the secrets of the Eastern Field Continent's Kobe sect of the Divine Supreme Continent. According to Chu Fan, the Kobe sect had a mysterious inheritance technique. They had branches in all 4 continents. They were carrying out a secret operation that no one knew about, trying to seal a world. Now that he saw the Immortal Stone Array in front of him, Qianfen believed Chu Fan's words more and more. The North Sand Continent has a celestial stone grand formation, and the West Sea Continent also has a celestial stone grand formation. From the looks of it, these formations all came from the same faction, and that faction is most likely the Eastfield Continent's Kobe sect. These people really want to seal an entire world. Qianfen was shocked by this fact. He couldn't understand the thoughts of the Eastern Field Continent's higher-ups. Even if they wanted to unify the Divine Supreme Continent, they didn't have to seal a world, right? If that's the case, wouldn't they be unable to ascend to immortality themselves? Chapter 2106. Unable to ascend to the world of immortals? Qianfen didn't believe it. Every cultivator on the Divine Supreme Continent wanted to ascend to the immortal realm. Even though most cultivators knew that they would never be able to ascend to the immortal realm in their lifetime, ascending to the immortal realm was their spiritual belief. It was also the motivation for them to persevere on the arduous road of cultivation. However, the Kobe faction in the East Field continent had indeed set up an immortal stone formation. This completely defied the logic of ascension. Qianfen felt that something was wrong. After pondering for a while, his eyes suddenly lit up and he looked incredulous. Master. Maybe your guess is right. Little Pig could read Qianfen's mind. But this doesn't make sense. If the higher-ups of the Kobe faction have already stepped into the world of immortals, then setting up a sealing formation to prevent others from ascending to immortality would be an unnecessary move. They could easily use their strength to suppress the entire Divine Supreme Continent. Moreover, rumor has it that when ascending to immortality, one would break through the void and enter the world of immortals. Then how did the immortal venerables of the Kobe faction return to the Divine Supreme Continent? Many thoughts flashed through Qianfen's mind, but he couldn't figure it out no matter how hard he racked his brain. Master. Don't think about anything else. Look at the 4 spirit marrow ponds. Little Pig exclaimed. Qianfen immediately looked over and was stunned by what he saw. This immortal stone formation spirit quintessence pond was different from the Violet Cloud Mountain Range. The Violet Cloud Mountain Range's Spirit Quintessence Pond was used to grow phoenix flowers, but this Spirit Quintessence Pond was filled with celestial devouring insects. The celestial devouring insects in the Spirit Marrow Pond were as big as a thumb, and they had mouths on top of their heads. They looked extremely terrifying. So this is the nest of these insects. They've occupied the immortal stone formation and are using the formation's energy to grow. Qianfen muttered to himself. Little Pig quickly said, Master. I don't think it's what you think. You mean? Qianfen's expression changed. A terrifying thought flashed through his mind. I don't think the celestial devouring insect has occupied this place. It has always been here. Someone has been specially cultivating this kind of insect. I suspect that the 4 phoenix flowers and the great sky demon formation exist to raise the celestial devouring insect, Little Pig said. Qianfen knew that the South Flat Continent's Immortal Gourd sect had done this before. They kept hundreds of species of spirit insects in the 10,000 Insect Valley and threw out bait to the outside world to trick cultivators into entering the 10,000 Insect Valley to become food for the spirit insects. However, Qianfen was still surprised to hear that someone was raising a celestial devouring insect that ranked first on the Divine Continent's spiritual insect list. Especially after witnessing the insect's powerful devouring ability, Qianfen felt that it was unrealistic. It was extremely difficult to control the insect and the person who raised it would be swallowed by it if he was not careful. However, when he thought of the 4 spirit essence ponds in the Violet Cloud Mountain in the North Sand Continent, Qianfen hesitated. He didn't find the celestial devouring worm in the spirit essence ponds, but the spirit essence ponds, the phoenix flowers, and the great sky demon formation all existed. According to Little Pig's deduction, there was only one possibility. The celestial devouring worms in the Violet Cloud Mountain had been taken away by the old monster who sealed them in the cave mansion. Qianfen gasped when this thought popped up in his mind. The old monster who sealed the cave mansion in the Violet Cloud Mountain's secret realm had an unfathomable cultivation base. If he took away a batch of celestial devouring worms, wouldn't he be invincible on the Divine Continent? Master. These are all just speculations, but Master can verify the authenticity of this speculation, Little Pig said. Qianfen understood what Little Pig meant. He shifted his gaze to the great sky demon formation floating in the air. This formation had reached the level of a level 9 ancient formation. With Qianfen's current formation skills, he couldn't break it, but temporarily stopping the formation's operation was not a problem. Several formation flags were thrown out, and a huge formation net appeared in the air. This great sky demon formation was densely arranged, and the lines crisscross like a spider's web. Qianfen didn't plan to destroy the entire formation's operation. With his current formation skills, he could only circle a very small part of the Great Sky Demon Formation. By destroying the operation of the key formation eyes, he could temporarily shock the entire formation. Fortunately, while Qianfen was breaking the formation, the celestial devouring worms in the 4 spirit marrow ponds didn't pay any attention to him. These more mature flying worms seemed to have no interest in cultivators. Soaking in the spirit marrow ponds was as comfortable as soaking in a hot spring. 2 hours later, a loud noise came from the small cave mansion. One of the small formation eyes of the Great Sky Demon Formation was broken. Dense spiritual energy floated out of the 4 spirit marrow ponds and surged into the air. The celestial devouring worms that crawled all over the ponds were startled. They turned into 4 black hurricanes and rushed into the air. It turned out that the flying insects had flown to the formation and were densely packed together, forming a large spirit insect net. Qianfen finally saw the full picture of the Great Sky Demon Formation. It almost covered the entire sky above the small cave mansion. The complicated lines of the formation made Qianfen's head hurt. It was like a chessboard floating in the air. When the countless celestial devouring worms attached themselves to the formation, they made a strange sound. The sound was similar to grinding teeth, but it was more terrifying than the sound made by the small celestial devouring worms that flew out of the cave. Qianfen knew that it wasn't a real sound, but a kind of divine sense attack. He immediately operated the soul returning technique with all his strength. There seemed to be a stream of air surging wildly in his mind, making the strength of his divine sense explode. "Not good, Master, those worms are going to attack." Little Pig screamed. Qianfen already felt a strong sense of death. He didn't wait for the celestial devouring worms to get close to him and immediately threw out all his trump cards. The Ice Heart Flame and the 9th Heaven Ice Seal illuminated the whole cave mansion. The surrounding stone walls and air instantly froze, and even the speed of the celestial devouring worms slowed down. But those flying worms only slowed down, and they continued to move. The air was filled with the sound of quang quang quang. This sound was very familiar to Qianfen. It was very similar to the sound of the hunting turtles eating. And now, those countless celestial devouring worms were eating the layer of ice. They could even devour the flame of the Ice Heart Flame. At the same time, Zhang-Qi swept up a ferocious purple light and rushed over. The Life Immortal armor released a strong breath of life. Qianfen also used the field to cover the whole space of the small cave mansion. But these trump cards, which could be used to kill people at a higher level, were completely useless against the celestial devouring worms. This group of small worms was terrifying. It was as if there was nothing they couldn't eat. They even ate the field. Qianfen began to feel lucky that he didn't release the hunting turtles. Facing this group of devouring demons, he began to wonder if the hunting turtles would also be devoured. But now was not the time to consider whether the hunting turtles or the celestial devouring worms were stronger or weaker. The sky full of flying worms fell like a dark night. Although their speed was slow, they were approaching Qianfen bit by bit. The space of the cave mansion was not big, and Qianfen had no way to retreat. But at this critical moment, his eyes suddenly lit up. He immediately took out 4 phoenix flowers and 4 spirit marrow ponds from his storage ring. These were the items Qianfen obtained from the Purple Cloud Mountains. He had never used the 4 phoenix flowers. Originally, he wanted to wait until he reached the peak of the cauldron-filling realm to refine tribulation pills. He used some of the 4 spirit marrow ponds, but it didn't affect what he was going to do next. Qianfen immediately sat cross-legged on the ground and kept making erase signs with both hands. When he broke a small formation eye of the heavenly demon formation, he had already figured out some of the tricks of the formation. Even if he still couldn't set up a complete heavenly demon formation, he could simulate a simplified version of the formation. Array flags were constantly thrown out from Qin Fen's hands, forming a complex and mysterious array in the void in front of him. 4 phoenix flowers were on the 4 formation eyes of the array, slowly blooming. The celestial devouring worms, like the dark night, were already hovering above Qin Fen's head, as if they would submerge his head at any time. But at this moment, a circle of white light appeared on top of Qin Fen's head. After the light of the formation appeared, it instantly expanded and finally filled the entire sky above the cave mansion. Crunch, crunch. The unpleasant grinding sound came again, but the sound was getting farther and farther away from Qin Fen's ears. When he looked up, the black fog had already rushed to the simplified version of the heavenly demon formation, and after a while, it flew into the 4 spirit marrow ponds that Qin Fen took out. The cave mansion returned to peace. Those celestial devouring worms were soaking in the spirit marrow ponds. If one didn't look carefully, one wouldn't be able to find them. Qin Fen let out a long sigh of relief in his heart, but his solemn mood was still there. This was because he realized that this immortal demon formation required a huge amount of spirit origin to support it. Even if he had set up a simplified version of the formation, he was afraid that it wouldn't be able to last long with the supply of energy from the 4 spirit marrow ponds. Qin Fen didn't have time to think about how the heavenly demon formation in the cave mansion could last for so many years. He had to hurry and destroy this small cave mansion, but when he was really about to do it, he hesitated, because when the space above the purple cloud mountains in the North Sand region collapsed, it was caused by the celestial stone formation breaking. If Qin Fen destroyed the celestial stone formation here, wouldn't the sky also crack? Qin Fen was in a dilemma. Whether it was the crack in the void or the celestial devouring worms, they were both huge disasters to the West Sea region. The reason why he risked his life to stay was to prevent a disaster. He couldn't possibly cause another disaster. Master! The formation can't hold on much longer. Little Pig said anxiously. When Qin Fen came back to his senses, he realized that the heavenly demon formation he had set up already had slight cracks. This was caused by the lack of energy supply. When Qin Fen looked at the 4 spirit marrow ponds, he was so shocked that his eyeballs almost fell to the ground. Those celestial devouring worms were simply a group of bottomless pits. In just the time it took for an incense stick to burn, they had swallowed the 4 spirit marrow ponds dry. Damn you! How dare you eat Grandpa's cultivation resources? Grandpa wants you dead. In his anger, Qin Fen didn't care so much. He slashed the Tsang Qi towards the celestial stone compass floating above the formation platform. Then, he slapped several balls of heavenly spirit sunflower fire. In an instant, the cave mansion was engulfed in flames, and the compass emitted a faint cracking sound. Qin Fen hurriedly put away the 8 phoenix flowers and the 4 spirit marrow ponds in the cave mansion. Baidu search for the novel website of Yunlai Pavilion, allowing you to experience the latest and fastest novel chapters. All novels are updated in seconds. Chapter 2107. The cracks on the immortal stone compass intensified. Suddenly, with a muffled sound, the huge compass exploded into pieces. The celestial devouring insects in the cave abode finally woke up. They made strange noises. Though they didn't have facial expressions, Qin Fen could clearly feel their rage. Master, run! Little Pig said urgently. Qin Fen immediately rushed out of the cave on his flying sword. Before he left, he put away the immortal stones that flew out of the compass. 4 black tornadoes followed behind him. They were the celestial devouring insects that flew out of the 4 spirit pith ponds. These larger celestial devouring insects clearly had a high status. When they flew out of the cave abode, the insects outside were shocked at first, then they immediately followed behind them. The majestic main mountain was gone. The plains that used to be covered in spirit grasses had turned into ruins. As soon as Qianfen rushed out of the cave abode, he took out the flying cloud all and turned into a white light that disappeared into the thick black fog. 3 days later, Qianfen looked at the blue sky behind him and heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that the celestial devouring insects had really been shaken off. He hurriedly found a deserted valley and prepared to go into seclusion. This exploration of Devil Mountain No. 1 could be considered as a treasure in the midst of danger. Not only did he collect 4 phoenix flowers, but he also obtained 4 brand new spirit quintessence pawns. Most importantly, he obtained over 100 immortal stones. Qianfen found that immortal stones were also divided into grades. The immortal stones he got from the cave abode in 9 Heavens Snow region were of a much lower grade. The immortal stones used in the Immortal Stone Formation were of a higher grade. In fact, when Qianfen saw the cave full of immortal stones that Chu Fan left behind, he even suspected that there was an immortal stone formation there too. But now, it seemed that it wasn't the case at all. Qianfen entered the astral space. He had a strong desire to break through. After this trip to West Sea Continent, he realized that his cultivation level was still too low. If he could reach disaster transformation state, he wouldn't have to run away from Ouyang Tian and the others. Under the tree of life in the astral space, there was a strong breath of life. Qianfen sat in a spirit pith pond. Under his feet was the intersection of 3 spirit veins. The immortal stones were placed around the pond. The strong spirit qi and immortal qi mixed together. It made people feel like their dantian was about to explode after taking a deep breath. Rumble. In less than half a day, a muffled sound came from Qianfen's body. He had successfully stepped into the 2nd level of the cauldron-filling state. Because breaking through in the astral space wouldn't trigger a lightning tribulation, Qianfen had no intention of stopping. He circulated the first 2 parts of the fortune of heaven and earth skill with all his might, and the true essence in his body surged endlessly. When Qianfen opened his eyes again, he discovered that the spirit origin in the 4 spirit quintessence pawns had been used up. More than half of the immortal stones around him had been used up. There were only 40 to 50 pieces left. He didn't have the time to feel distressed about the resources he had consumed. He immediately looked at his own body, and when he felt the surging true essence in his body, even he was shocked. Congratulations, Master. He's already at the peak of the cauldron-filling realm. Little Pig's excited voice rang out. Qianfen immediately sent out a palm strike towards the void. The air exploded, and half of the sky seemed to shake. A giant Jin Yuan hand appeared, and with an indomitable momentum, it rushed out of the area where Qianfen's divine sense could not detect it. Rumble. After the time it took for half an incense stick to burn, there was a loud noise in the sky. It felt like the sky was falling. Qianfen was shocked. This should be the sound of the palm strike from before. It wasn't that Qianfen hadn't seen experts at the peak of the cauldron-filling realm, but compared to the strength of his true essence, those so-called peak of the cauldron-filling realm were like ants. They couldn't even withstand the power of 1 palm strike from him. So what if they were at the peak of the disaster transformation realm, let alone the cauldron-filling realm? Qianfen felt that with his current cultivation level, he could still beat them. Qianfen gradually recovered from the joy of breaking through, and his face immediately became serious. He thought of the devouring celestial insects that flew out of the main peak of sky-reaching mountain, and the immortal stone formation that he broke. Oh no! I don't know how long I've been in seclusion this time. Could Demon City have already ceased to exist? Thousands of miles away, Demon City. The city was in ruins, and it wasn't difficult to see that a huge battle had occurred. The once blue sky was gray. Upon closer inspection, it wasn't because black clouds covered the sun. Instead, it was a black fog formed by countless flying insects. In just 3 months, the black fog has occupied the central city on the periphery of Demon City. Now, only the 308 demon peaks are slightly safer. However, the demon peaks won't be safe forever. When the array on the peaks is broken, we'll still die. Outside Demon Peak number 2, millions of Demon City cultivators had gathered. The foot of the mountain and the sky were densely packed with people. Hong Ming, the Thunder King, and the rest were also among the crowd. Now that they were facing a great enemy, they put aside their personal grievances. True Form Seniors, Demon City is facing a calamity that is not seen in 100 years. I hope that mighty seniors can step forward and lead the millions of Demon City cultivators to resolve this crisis. True Form Seniors, please help. Everyone at the foot of the mountain shouted in unison, their voices resounding through the sky. Hong Ming and the rest looked at the gray sky with extremely grave expressions. It wasn't that they didn't want to shoulder the heavy responsibility, but they were helpless against the celestial devouring insects in the void. If they waited for these monsters to invade the demon peaks, even they could only wait for death. Everyone, please calm down. We're not just sitting back and not doing anything. We just don't know where to start. Heaven Demon Sect leader Nye Yuan used his quintessential essence to transmit his voice. His loud voice could be heard within a radius of 50 kilometers of Demon Peak number 2. What? Even True Form Seniors can't do anything. It seems that Demon City is really going to be destroyed. Sect leader Nye, you're the only senior in Demon City who has reached the level of Formation King. Please lead the Heaven Demon Sect disciples to set up a level 7 defense formation to stop the celestial devouring insects from invading, someone shouted. Many cultivators agreed with this suggestion. To them, the level 7 King formation was extremely powerful and could definitely stop those insects. However, Nye Yuan had a bitter expression as he looked up at the sky and sighed. Everyone. It would be great if the level 7 King formation could stop those immortal insects. Everyone still doesn't understand how powerful the celestial devouring insects are. Those are insects from the celestial world. They probably don't have any natural enemies on this cultivation continent. Even if I set up a defense formation, the formation would be eaten by the immortal insects bit by bit. Eaten a level 7 King formation. This was the first time everyone had heard of such a thing. They all looked extremely terrified. Nye Yuan sighed again, but he didn't say anything else this time. The area below Demon Peak number 2 fell into silence. There were 1,000,000 demonic cultivators gathered, but it felt lifeless. At this moment, a figure flew over from the sky. Before he landed, his furious voice drifted over. These devouring celestial insects originally appeared in the sky-reaching peak. They were all released by an ant, and that ant is the man Hong Ming's daughter has taken a fancy to. That ant is the enemy of the entire demonic city. Everyone looked up at the sky and saw a white beam flashing over. Someone had already recognized the person and exclaimed, "It's the clan leader of Spiritual Mountain's Ouyang family, Senior Ouyang." Seeing Ouyang Tian appear, Hong Ming's face instantly turned cold. He still remembered the battle below Demon Peak number 1 3 months ago. At that time, Hong Ming had just been injured in the battle with the Thunder King and the rest. He had joined hands with Qin Fen to barely suppress his opponent. However, now that he had mostly recovered, he was no longer afraid of Ouyang Tian. "Old thief with the surname O, what nonsense are you spouting?" Hong Ming was enraged in front of everyone. Qin Fen was his and the Black Demon clan's great benefactor. He couldn't allow others to frame Qin Fen behind his back. Almost half of the group of cultivators who had been lucky enough to enter the heaven-reaching main peak had died inside. Even the few cultivators who had managed to escape did not return to Demon City. Those cultivators had seen the celestial devouring insects fly out of the heaven-reaching main peak. They had long expected that Demon City would be destroyed. Now, there were very few cultivators who knew that Qianfen had released the celestial devouring insects. Only Ouyang Tian dared to say it in front of everyone. He looked at Hongming coldly and said, "Old dog Hongming, Ouyang Tian, have always been a man of my word. There's no need to badmouth others behind their backs. That day, your aunt's son-in-law broke the array door above the heaven-reaching main peak and let the celestial devouring insects fly out. I wasn't the only one who saw this." Many cultivators were present. The crowd became restless. A black figure leaped into the sky and landed beside Ouyang Tian. Senior Ouyang is right. It was Hongming's son-in-law who released the celestial devouring insects. I brought people with me to stop him, but we failed. The person who stood out was the Starlight sect leader, Dao Qi. Qianfen had advised Dao Qi and the others to leave the heaven-reaching demon peak, but they didn't listen. In the end, the Starlight sect's elders died tragically under the black fog. Dao Qi blamed this anger on Qianfen. He didn't dare to say it because he was wary of Hongming's powerful cultivation base. Now that he had Ouyang Tian's support, he immediately stood out. Fortunately, Qianfen wasn't here. Otherwise, he would have killed this fellow with a single slash. Such an ugly face would only be a scourge on the divine continent. No matter what Ouyang Tian and Dao Qi said, Hongming didn't believe their nonsense. He knew Qianfen's character very well. Although Qianfen had a murderous nature, he was also a person who could distinguish right from wrong. He definitely wouldn't kill the innocent, and it was impossible for him to release the celestial devouring insects on purpose. However, Hongming's belief was useless because the millions of demonic cultivators under the second demon peak had already determined that Qianfen was the culprit. Everyone had been suppressing their anger, and now they were venting it on Qianfen. "Hongming, shouldn't you give everyone an explanation?" The Thunder King said coldly. It was obvious that he hadn't completely put aside his personal grudges. Nie Yuan and the North Nether Mountain sect leader, Demon Lord North Nether, also looked at Hongming with malicious intent. If they could destroy Hongming before the calamity of Demonic City, it would be a satisfying thing. Everyone, stop arguing. Now that Demon City is facing destruction, what's the point of arguing about who's right and who's wrong? If we don't come up with a countermeasure soon, we'll all die sooner or later. Demon City's #1 rogue cultivator, the Dark Demon, Jin Bei, shouted coldly. The few of them stopped arguing. Just as Jin Bei had said, what's the point of arguing about who's right and who's wrong now? The entire Demon City was about to be destroyed. When that time came, everyone would be swallowed up, not even bones would be left. There would be no story left on the Divine Continent. Baidu search for the novel website of Yunlai Pavilion, and you could experience the latest and fastest novel updates. All the novels were updated in seconds. Chapter 2108. After the atmosphere at the foot of the mountain quietened down, Jin Bei looked at Hongming and said, "Since Ouyang Tian and Dao Qi both pointed out your son-in-law's crimes, it means that this matter is true. The mysterious demon clan has an undeniable responsibility for this disaster. Now, lead the mysterious demon clan out to deal with the devouring celestial bug." This suggestion was immediately approved by the million fiendish cultivators. Cheers rose and fell at the foot of the mountain. The mysterious demon clan has committed grave sins. We must lead the battle to atone for our sins. I heard that Hongming's son-in-law is not a fiendish cultivator. Who exactly is he? What is his purpose in coming to Demonic City this time? Is there a need to guess? That weakling must have planned to destroy Demonic City a long time ago. First, he used flowery words to confuse Hong Chenwu. Then, he obtained Hongming's protection. That's how he could do whatever he wanted in Demonic City. In the end, he caused this irreversible disaster. Sigh. Hong Chen-woo is known as one of the 5 fairies of Demonic City. She was actually tricked by a cultivator from another clan. As the saying goes, all the good cabbages are taken by pigs. The mysterious demon clan cultivators were furious and panicked, and they heard the million fiendish cultivators discussing them like a tidal wave. Hong Chen-woo's pretty face was so red that water was about to drip out. Some of the unbearable words made her extremely embarrassed and angry. How dare a bunch of weaklings criticize my beloved daughter? If anyone dares to spout nonsense again, I will tear their stinky mouth apart. Hong Ming could not take this kind of insult. A true form aura surged from his body as he roared like thunder. Many low-level fiendish cultivators felt dizzy. Even Akayana's supremacies immediately shut their mouths. However, a few disaster transformation almighties were still grumbling. Anyway, they had more people on their side, so they did not have to be afraid of Hong Ming. Ha! Devil King Hong Ming is so impressive. Is he trying to go against the entire demonic city? The Thunder Monarch sneered. Adding insult to injury was his hobby. Thunder Monarch, don't try to drive a wedge between us. If you have the guts, let's fight one-on-one. Otherwise, shut your stinky mouth. Hong Ming's gray hair was standing on top of his head. The Thunder Sovereign was afraid. His cultivation level was only at the first stage True Form realm, while Hong Ming had attained the second stage True Form realm not long ago. If the two of them really fought one-on-one, the Thunder Sovereign would likely lose. Of course, I'm not afraid of fighting you one-on-one, but you're still thinking about internal strife now that we're facing a great calamity. As expected, you don't care about the safety of Demonic City at all. All these years, I've allowed your Black Demon clan to monopolize the resources of the Second Demon Peak. I've really fed them to the dogs. The Thunder King snorted coldly. Hong Ming couldn't take it anymore and struck out with her palm. The void rumbled as the Jin Yuan hand blotted out the sky. The Thunder King's expression changed drastically. He didn't even need to fight back to realize that he would definitely be severely injured by this palm strike. Hong Ming, you're really rebelling. The dark demon Golden Steel let out a low roar, and another handprint appeared in the void. These two true essence handprints were like two dark clouds colliding in the void. Rumble. The sky shook. The ground beneath everyone's feet shook. Even the cultivators who were hovering on swords felt a huge force and were sent flying. Brother Golden Steel, Hong Ming is a Demonic City cultivator, but he joined forces with outsiders to destroy Demonic City. Now, Brother Golden Steel has the highest cultivation level in Demonic City. Please lead the way. The few of us will join forces to destroy Hong Ming and get rid of this evil for the clan, the Thunder King immediately shouted. I'm willing to join the battle and do my part for Demonic City. Ouyang Tian stood up. I'll join too, Nya Yuan said. The few true form realm cultivators in Demonic City could form a top force. They were able to form a top force, and there were even a few peak disaster transformation experts from Dao Qi joining them. With such a powerful lineup, no one in the entire West Ocean continent would be able to stop them, let alone in Demonic City. Old thief Hong Ming, I'll give you one last chance. Either you go out and destroy the immortal engulfing bug and do your part for Demonic City to atone for your sins, or we join forces to destroy the entire Black Demon clan and leave no one alive, the Golden Steel shouted in the sky. Hong Ming was furious. Once upon a time, when Patriarch Hong Ming had been alive for a few hundred years, Demonic City had been completely under the control of the Black Demon clan. They had been respected by millions of fiendish cultivators. Now that millions of fiendish cultivators had gathered and a few true form realm mighty figures had joined forces to force the Black Demon clan, things had changed. Qin Feng will not harm Demonic City. You must be mistaken, Hong Chen-woo said anxiously. The Golden Steel did not even look at her. He said coldly to Hongming, "You have 3 seconds to consider. If you're not willing to fight, I'll kill your daughter first. Don't you dare." Hongming roared into the sky like an enraged lion. Violent quintessential essence surged from the golden steel and the others at the same time. The battle was about to begin. "All right. I'll go out and destroy the immortal engulfing bug alone. You guys are not allowed to make things difficult for any cultivator of the Black Demon clan." In an instant, Hongming seemed to have aged 100 years. He felt humiliated by making this decision, but there was nothing he could do. Before Hongming could fly out of the array formation around the demonic peak, a cold voice sounded. "Old Dao Qi, you know better than anyone else what the situation was like at the heavenly peak. As a peak disaster transformation mighty figure, don't you feel ashamed to invert right and wrong and frame others?" Hongming's expression changed drastically. He stopped in mid-air. That cold voice was extremely familiar. It was Qin Feng's voice. The millions of fiendish cultivators below the demonic peak looked into the sky at the same time and saw a white light flash. The person was too fast and they could not see the exact situation. Unknowingly, a tall figure landed in the sky above demonic peak number 2. That person was dressed in a snow-white robe, and his long hair was flying in the wind. His aura was unpredictable, making it hard to tell what was real. He was young and looked to be no more than 30 years old. However, when he stood on the peak alone, it was as if the entire sky was his territory. "Who are you? I don't even know you. Why are you slandering me?" Dao Qi's eyes were spewing fire as he stared into the sky. The identity of the person was unknown and his aura was also unpredictable. Even a mighty figure like Dao Qi was a little wary. However, many people recognized Qin Feng. During the huge battle below demonic peak number 2, Qin Feng had used his original appearance. On the heavenly peak number 2, I only wore a mask magic artifact. Did you hear me when I advised you to leave? Qin Feng's voice was cold. The crowd exclaimed. Many people reacted. So, Qin Feng and Qiao Feng were the same person. No wonder Hongming had been protecting these two identities. "And, how dare you come back? Don't even think about leaving demonic capital alive today," Thunder King said furiously. Nie Yuan thought quickly and connected all the recent events. "So, you and Hongming have been in cahoots for a long time. First, you cured Hongming's pill poison and then helped him break through to true realization state. Then, you went to the heavenly peak number 2 together and released the devouring immortal bug. Tell me, who are you? What faction is supporting you?" Nie Yuan's analysis was reasonable and many cultivators took it seriously. Qin Feng could not be bothered with him. His good intentions had turned out to be bad intentions. Qin Feng could not be bothered to leave the West Ocean continent. "And watch this old man destroy you." Dao Qi roared and suddenly charged into the sky. He had already disliked Qin Feng on the heavenly peak number 2. However, there had been a sudden change and the devouring immortal bug had flown out, so he could not deal with Qin Feng. Now that he had the Thunder King and the other true realization mighty figures to rely on, Dao Qi was not afraid of Hongming attacking him. In his opinion, as long as Hongming did not help Qin Feng would be an ant for him to kill. Rumble. A huge quintessential essence handprint appeared and caused an explosion in the sky. However, Qin Feng was no longer there. It was as if he had disappeared into thin air. "Are you looking for me?" A cold voice came from behind Dao Qi. It was like the summoning of the Grim Reaper. Before Dao Qi could react, a powerful magnetic field rippled around him. He immediately felt his movements slow down. "This is field. You're merely a first-stage Ekayana tripod realm cultivator. How could you comprehend field?" Dao Qi's eyes were filled with shock. Qin Feng did not answer Dao Qi's question at all. A ball of blue flame rose behind him. It was as if a scorching sun was overhead. However, after the flame appeared, a cold wind blew in the field. The air instantly froze, and even Dao Qi was frozen into an ice sculpture. I was indeed at the first stage Ekayana tripod realm 3 months ago. However, I'm not anymore. As Qin Feng's cold voice spread, the ruler in his hand slashed down. A dazzling purple light flashed and a crisp cracking sound was heard from Dao Qi's body. Dao Qi was still conscious. He was struggling to escape from the ice layer and the field. Perhaps the extreme cold had numbed his pain nerves. When Dao Qi's arm split open, he did not notice it at all. Crack! Crack! Not only his arm, but his legs and body had also split open. The knife marks were extremely small and could not be seen with the naked eye. After slashing down with his saber, Qin Feng retracted his aura. The blue flame that had risen behind him also disappeared. When the ice heart flame disappeared, the snowy environment instantly stopped. It was as if it had never appeared. Bang! At that moment, there was a dull sound. Dao Qi's body split open. It was as if he had been dismembered by 5 horses in the sky. However, this was not the end. Every part of his body continued to shatter. In the end, he turned into grain-sized ice shards that scattered on the ground. A peak disaster transformation realm almighty had been destroyed. This attack had been completed in one go. It had happened in the blink of an eye. When the Thunder King and the rest came back to their senses and wanted to help, they realized that it was too late. Dead? Senior Dao Qi is already dead. Where did that guy come from? His skills are too terrifying. He could actually kill a peak disaster transformation realm almighty instantly. It is obvious that he has already stepped into the true form realm. He definitely has helpers. They should be a group of true form almighties. It seems like Demon City was not destroyed by the devouring celestial bug. It was eliminated by other forces. Old thief Hong Ming, as a member of Demon City, you actually colluded with outsiders to destroy Demon City. Your conscience must have been eaten by dogs. When the million fiendish cultivators woke up, there was a raging discussion at the foot of the Demon Peak. A few true form almighties were furious. Their divine senses locked onto Qin Feng at the same time. And, if I don't kill you today, I will not be the top expert of Demon City. Jin Bei growled and took the lead to attack. His palm hit the air. The sky was shaking. A huge handprint covered the entire void of the Demon Peak. When he attacked, it brought with it the aura of a catastrophe. Chapter 2109. Young hero Qin, be careful. Hong Chenwook shouted anxiously. Hong Ming took out a flying sword. The sword flare pierced through the quintessential Ussen's handprint and seemed to split the sky into 2. The quintessential Ussen's handprint's attack was neutralized by the surging sword chi. However, when the 2 halves of the handprint fell to the ground, there was also a violent explosion. Qin Fen was sent flying by the aftershock and vomited blood in midair. When he fought with the true form mighty figures again, he realized that his current cultivation level was still lacking. He couldn't care too much anymore. He took out a calamity pill and swallowed it, trying to break through to the disaster transformation realm in this desperate situation. Speaking of this calamity pill, Qin Fen hadn't used the phoenix flower to refine it. The calamity pill was already a level 9 level 7 king pill. Qin Fen couldn't refine it at all. This pill had been given to Qin Fen by the old monster sealed in the cave abode on Bai Ling Mountain in the mystic realm of the Purple Cloud Mountains. In order to get Qin Fen to help him break the seal, the old man had thrown out many precious resources as bait. 3 stalks of rank 7 spirit herb fire spirit lotus, 3 stalks of rank 5 spirit herb 100 pasture grass, 3 stalks of rank 7 spirit herb fragrant flower, a true artifact grade 7 colored ghost face soul banner, a brightly colored feather, a hard rhinoceros horn, an extremely tough rubber band, and the second part of the creation of heaven and earth art. Finally, there was a bottle of pills. Qin Fen had only thought of that bottle of pills on his way back to Modu after breaking through. He had expected that he would most likely die in this battle and had planned to clear out all the treasures in his storage ring. He had accidentally found a jade bottle in a corner. There was only one pill in the jade bottle. It was the calamity pill that he urgently needed. Qin Fen had originally planned to wait until his current realm had stabilized before eating the pill to break through to the disaster transformation realm. However, the current situation didn't allow him to wait. Old thief Hongming. Are you really rebelling? Jin Bei's palm had been aimed at Qin Fen's life, but Hongming had stopped it. He was furious. Hongming didn't have time to deal with him. He leaped into the sky above where Qin Fen had fallen and extended his divine sense, watching the true form mighty figure's every move. Young hero Qin, are you all right? As soon as the pill entered his mouth, it melted. Spiritual qi surged, and Qin Feng's body was about to explode. He suddenly roared towards the sky. His white robe exploded, and his hair fell down. Hongming could not understand what was going on. She quickly wanted to go down and check on Qin Fen. However, before she could do anything, several surging black clouds appeared in the sky. The black clouds contained a destructive aura. It turned out that the Thunder Sovereign and the others had combined their quintessence attacks. If they were fighting one-on-one, Hongming would not be afraid of any of them. However, a few true form mighty figures were attacking consecutively. The misty handprint rumbled and just the intense explosion was enough to make one feel hopeless. Senior Hongming, hurry up and leave. Qin Feng's roar was deafening like thunder. Hongming was not willing to leave him alone. She immediately sent out a few palm strikes. However, the quintessential essence palm strikes instantly dissipated when they collided with the rolling black clouds. It was as if her ferocious attacks had struck cotton. The million demonic cultivators were dumbfounded. Almost all the true form realm cultivators in Demonic City had gathered here. When these true form mighty figures attacked with all their might, the destructive power they brought could destroy heaven and earth. The magnificent scene in the void made people infinitely smaller. They were as insignificant as the stars in the vast universe. Rumble. Deafening explosions sounded one after another. Hongming could only withstand 3 palm strikes. His body could not take it anymore. He spat out a mouthful of blood in midair and fell to the ground. This huge battle seemed to have just begun, but Hongming and Qin Feng were already seriously injured. The Thunder Sovereign and the others sneered disdainfully, but the mystic demon race was filled with fear. Young hero Qin, are you all right? Hongming landed beside Qin Feng and realized that he was sitting cross-legged in the crater and circulating his quintessential essence. Senior. I'm about to break through. Qin Feng said with his spiritual sense. Hongming's expression changed drastically. He could not understand Qin Feng's thoughts at all. He was about to die, but Qin Feng still had the mood to break through. You're about to break through. Break through to the second stage Ekayana Tripod Realm. Not the Ekayana Tripod Realm. I'm breaking through to the Disaster Transformation Realm. As soon as Qin Feng finished speaking, a deafening explosion sounded. Before Hongming could understand what Qin Feng meant, he was shocked by the sudden explosion and subconsciously looked toward the sky. A lightning tribulation struck. It split the condensed quintessential essence clouds in the sky, and a violent storm descended. The remaining quintessential essence was blown away and completely disappeared under the washing of the rain. What is this? Could it be that the lad's helpers are here? What a powerful mighty figure. He broke the consecutive attacks of the Thunder Sovereign and the other True Form Realm seniors with one strike. What realm has he reached? Demonic City is going to perish. Demonic City is going to perish. The million demonic cultivators were stunned by the lightning. The huge commotion seemed like the sky was collapsing. However, this was just the beginning. When the first lightning struck, a few more waist-thick lightning struck the ground a few seconds later. This is not a man-made attack. It's a lightning tribulation. Jinbei had already discovered the situation, but the truth was shocking. His eyes were about to fall out. When the Thunder Sovereign and the other True Form Realm mighty figures understood the situation, they were also dumbfounded. They had already discovered that Qin Feng was attracting the lightning to break through, but this lightning tribulation was too fierce. It was not weaker than the lightning tribulation that Hongming had triggered when she broke through to the True Form Realm 3 months ago. Isn't that lad at Cauldron Filling State Level 1? Why would he trigger such a powerful lightning tribulation? North Nether Mountain Sect leader Demon Venerable North Dark was puzzled. Thunder Sovereign murmured, "No. This isn't a Cauldron Filling State lightning tribulation, it's a Disaster Transformation State lightning tribulation." That lad actually went from Cauldron Filling State Level 1 to Disaster Transformation State in just 3 months. Everyone was shocked. Only now did everyone recall a fact. Not long ago, Qin Feng had killed the Disaster Transformation State Peak Stage Dao Qi sect leader with one move. How could a Cauldron Filling State Level 1 cultivator do this? He's really breaking through to Disaster Transformation State. This lad is too insane. Nia Yuan exclaimed. The news seemed to have grown wings and spread quickly among the crowd. The million fiendish cultivators were extremely shocked. Even in the entire West Sea state, no one could go from Cauldron Filling State Level 1 to Disaster Transformation State in just 3 months. Rock. It must be that rock. Jinbei's eyes lit up. His old eyes looked straight into the sky pit in the lightning sea. His body flashed and he actually dashed down. Rumble. Before he landed, his true essence hand seal floated in the air. True Qi was like tumbling waves, tearing the air apart. He charged towards the sky pit with an unstoppable force. Little ant, hand over those rocks or you'll die. Jinbei used his spirit sense to communicate with Qin Feng. Crack. Qin Feng didn't answer at all, or rather, what answered him was a sky-tearing thunder. Qin Feng casually threw out several array flags. The array flags landed around the golden tablet and immediately formed a lightning-attracting array. The lightning tribulation that fell from the sky exploded on his body. Crackle. The power of this lightning tribulation surprised Qin Feng. It was dozens of times stronger than the Cauldron Filling State lightning tribulation. Luckily, there was a group of Truth Realization State powerful cultivators to help him block the lightning. Otherwise, he might die under the power of the 9 transformation true lightning. A loud noise shook the sky. Jinbei's true essence armors shattered instantly. Black smoke billowed from his body as he was smashed into the ground by the lightning. The million fiendish cultivators gasped. They were shocked by this destructive lightning tribulation. Even the Thunder King and the other Truth Realization State powerful cultivators were shocked. They even felt a trace of fear. Wait! This isn't an ordinary cultivator's lightning tribulation. Nia Yuan's expression changed drastically. The others all looked at him. Dark North Demon Venerable asked, "What kind of lightning tribulation is that?" This should be the Divine Supreme Continent's sure-kill lightning tribulation. Nia Yuan was so emotional that he almost shouted. His voice echoed in everyone's mind. Sure-kill lightning tribulation. Many people's expression changed drastically. They had clearly heard of sure-kill lightning tribulation. What is a sure-kill lightning tribulation? Some didn't know. Legend has it that there are 9 types of rare lightning tribulations in the Divine Supreme Continent. Each one is extremely ferocious and there's no chance of surviving it. Hence, it's called the 9 Great Sure-Kill Lightning Tribulations. Although these 9 types of lightning tribulations are extremely ferocious, as long as one can survive it, he or she will be reborn and become an ultimate god. Legend has it that the most powerful Grand Tao god of the Divine Supreme Continent triggered a sure-kill lightning tribulation when he broke through. After the explanation, the million pairs of eyes stared at the sea of lightning in the sky. The shock in their eyes couldn't go away. If this ferocious lightning tribulation was really one of the sure-kill lightning tribulations, then wouldn't Qin Fan be a once-in-a-thousand-years ultimate god? With his current cultivation level, he could instantly kill a disaster transformation state peak stage cultivator. If he successfully broke through the lightning tribulation, wouldn't he be invincible in the West Sea state? No need to doubt it. That kid definitely triggered a sure-kill lightning tribulation. This isn't the first time he triggered a sure-kill lightning tribulation. Otherwise, how could he kill a disaster transformation state peak stage cultivator when he's only at the cauldron-filling state? Thunder King said coldly. Jinbei flew back from the huge pit with great difficulty. His body was badly mutilated from the explosion, and he no longer looked like an expert. This damned ant. If we don't join forces to kill him today, we will be the ones to die when he successfully transcends the lightning tribulation, Jinbei said fiercely. Brother Jinbei, what is the stone you mentioned earlier? Nie Yuan was curious. In fact, he had observed carefully. During the previous battle on the number 2 Demon Mountain, the Golden Tablet had also mentioned the stone. Furthermore, every time the stone was mentioned, the Golden Tablet, a true form mighty being, would be in a mess. It's an ultimate treasure that you guys can't imagine. Let's kill that kid first. Jinbei kept his mouth shut. After all, the secret of the immortal stone was very important. He wouldn't say anything until the last moment. Something that Jinbei had been thinking about and even said was an ultimate treasure would naturally not be bad. The Thunder King and the others were a little tempted. No matter what, they had to kill Qin Fan. If they could get a share of the ultimate treasure after killing him, it would be a pleasant surprise. Whoosh! However, just when the few of them discussed to continue attacking together, the void was torn apart by a white electric flare. A deafening sound was heard, and the violent airflow shook the ground. The 307 Demon Mountains showed signs of collapsing. This time, the Thunder King's expression changed drastically when the array flag appeared next to him. He immediately felt that he was being shrouded by death. However, before he could react, a continuous loud sound came from his body. He screamed and fell at the foot of the mountain 1,000 meters away. Chapter 21:10. The expressions of the remaining people greatly changed, but in this short moment of shock, the array flags that filled the sky scattered like a flock of butterflies. Crackle. The lightning tribulation was abnormally ferocious. Whenever a bolt of lightning appeared, it would tear space apart. The lightning sea floated in the air. The power of the lightning tribulation that was supposed to land on Qin Fan's head had all struck the few true form state cultivators. Amidst the continuous thunderclaps and explosions of the true essence giant hands, the millions of demonic cultivators even experienced temporary tinnitus in their ears. The fierce movements were no longer transmitted into their ears in the form of sound, but through the violent shaking of the mountains and the fluctuations of true essence, they could feel it even more vividly. Who is that person? He can fight multiple truth realization state Qianbei at the same time and not lose. I know. Rumor has it that Hongming found a grand ultimate god to help her during the battle outside the second demon peak a few months ago. So that grand ultimate god is the man in front of us. Hongming didn't protect the man, but the man protected the mysterious demon clan. Is this the legendary Shirkill lightning tribulation? This is practically an apocalyptic calamity. The millions of demonic cultivators had their horizons broadened. It turned out that the world of high-level cultivators was like this. There was no need to use quintessential essence in a fight. All they had to do was to use the power of the thunder tribulation. Qin Fen was indeed using the lightning tribulation to strike the true form realm cultivator. There was probably no other cultivator in the divine continent who dared to break through in front of a true form realm mighty figure and use the lightning tribulation to strike the true form realm cultivator. Looking at the spectacular sea of lightning, Hongming's jaw dropped. Not long ago, when he heard Qin Feng say he was going to break through, he thought he was crazy. Now, he was about to go crazy. There was no longer anyone who could stop Qin Fen from breaking through. Following that, the lightning tribulation became even more ferocious. Qin Fen continued to throw out array flags. However, these array flags were not thrown at the Thunder Sovereign and the others. Instead, they were all gathered at the array walls surrounding the Demon Mountain. What is he doing? It's over. He wants to draw the Thunder Tribulation to the formation wall. If the formation wall of the Devil Mountain is destroyed, the celestial devouring insects outside will be able to fly in. This guy really came to destroy Demonic City. How can he be so vicious? No one could understand Qin Fen's actions. Even Hongming and Hong Qinwu were dumbfounded. Young hero Qin, what are you doing? Hongming was shocked. Senior, I want to blast open the Demon Peaks formation wall. Qin Fen did not hide anything. Hongming jumped in fright. Qin Feng, why did you destroy the formation wall? This way, the celestial devouring insects outside will be released, and then everyone will die. Qin Feng naturally knew better than Hongming how powerful those bugs were. However, he also knew that sitting around and waiting for death was useless. Now, Qin Fen's lightning tribulations were endless. Furthermore, he was only halfway through his breakthrough. He wanted to use the lightning tribulations to bombard the immortal devouring bug to see if it would have any effect. Senior Hongming, we'll have to fight sooner or later. Why drag it out? Why don't we quickly find the weakness of the celestial devouring insects and destroy them as soon as possible? Qin Feng said quickly. Hongming's expression changed unpredictably. He had already understood Qin Fen's thoughts. After some consideration, Hongming began to agree with Qin Fen's point of view. This disaster was not only a disaster for Demonic City, but also a disaster for the entire West Sea continent. If they did not think of a way to destroy the celestial devouring bug as soon as possible, they would die sooner or later. Senior, haven't you noticed? Those celestial bugs are constantly reproducing. That's the main reason why we have to act as soon as possible, Qin Fen added. Actually, the celestial bugs that had flown out of the sky reaching Main Peak were not as spectacular as the ones before him. Qin Fen made a rough calculation. In the short span of 3 months, the number of celestial bugs had at least doubled. This terrifying reproduction rate shocked Qin Fen. He knew that all the West Sea continent cultivators were racing against time. If they did not destroy these celestial bugs as soon as possible, they would be engulfed and turned into ruins sooner or later. I see. I'll help you break the array. After understanding the current situation, Hongming soared into the sky. In a few breaths' time, he had already landed beside the array wall of the demonic peak. He did not hold back at all. His quintessential essence giant hands kept falling, stirring up layers of ripples on the array wall. Hongming is indeed in cahoots with that kid. They want to work together to break the array. What should we do now? If we let them succeed, everyone will die. Since we're going to die either way, let's fight it out with Hongming, that dog thief. With someone taking the lead, tens of thousands of demonic cultivators immediately followed. These cultivators were of different realms. There were Peak Calamity Transformation Realm cultivators, True Spirit Realm cultivators, and Buddha Light Realm cultivators who were at the bottom. Before these cultivators could get close, a lightning bolt fell, creating a huge ravine on the ground. The ravine was 100 meters deep. It was like a crack in a cliff, dividing the battlefield into two. You ignorant people. It's fine if you don't want to help, but if anyone dares to cause trouble, I guarantee that the next lightning tribulation will land on them, Qin Fan growled. His voice was as cold as a knife. The group of demonic cultivators who had gone berserk due to a moment of excitement immediately stopped. They were afraid that the fire in their hearts would be extinguished by that lightning bolt. All that was left was the lingering fear of escaping death. Rumble. Lightning bolts and quintessential essence collided fiercely against the array wall. An hour later, a formation core loosened. Soon, there was a loud sound, and the entire demonic peak territory shook. Not good. There's a hole in the array wall, someone cried out. The expressions of the millions of demonic cultivators changed drastically. Their eyes were filled with fear. It was as if they could already see the end of the world. When a small hole appeared on the array wall, the black fog outside suddenly surged, forming a cone-shaped hurricane that crazily drilled into the demonic peak territory. The devouring celestial bugs are here. Everyone, run. Is that bastard Hongming crazy? What benefits does he get from colluding with outsiders to destroy demons? Ah! My arms are gone, my legs are gone, my head. The devouring celestial bugs were very fast. They had already snuck into the crowd without a sound. The millions of demonic cultivators were in a mess. Many cultivators had mysteriously disappeared. The scene was extremely terrifying. Qin Fan raised his brows and immediately drew the lightning tribulation to the area near the array wall. There were many spirit insects there, forming a dense black cloud. Whoosh! The blazing white lightning bolt fell to the ground. When it passed through the black fog, it was like the hope of the night. The explosion was earth-shattering. Ferocious quintessential essence surged, and waves of heat came one after another. Qin Fan immediately extended his divine sense and scanned the area shrouded in dust. His eyes instantly shot out a bright light. More than half of the black fog actually dispersed. Young hero Qin, how's the effect? Hongming asked impatiently. If even the lightning tribulation couldn't kill those insects, he would immediately lead everyone out of Demonic City. It's lethal. I'll continue to strike. Senior, bring the others to hide in the demonic peak. Qin Fan could not hide the excitement in his tone. Hongming's grave expression also faded a little. His eyes shone with hope. He leaped up to the peak of the second demonic peak and used his quintessential essence to send a voice transmission. Young hero Qin is going to use the lightning tribulation to kill the celestial insects. Everyone, immediately return to the demonic peak where your sect is located to take refuge. If there's nowhere else to go, temporarily hide in the second demonic peak. Chapter 21:11. The millions of demonic cultivators who were fleeing were shocked. Wasn't Hongming with Qin Fan to betray Demonic City? Why would she be so kind as to help everyone escape? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and run back to your respective demonic peaks to take refuge. There are defensive formations on each demonic peak. They can buy us some time, Hongming shouted again. Some people came to their senses and immediately fled. They were very careful as they fled, still wary of Qin Fan and Hongming. More and more black fog floated into the territory of the demonic peaks. Qianfen's lightning tribulation descended ferociously like a thunderstorm in the sky. Look, that person seems to really be killing the celestial devouring bug. This lightning tribulation is so ferocious. It can even kill the celestial devouring bug. Is demonic city saved? Many cultivators who returned to the demonic peaks began to watch the battle. When they saw the black fog dissipating, they were extremely excited. The Thunder Sovereign and the others looked at each other. They had always thought that Qianfen and Hongming were working together to rebel. They never expected that the two of them would take the initiative to resist at such a crucial moment. Could we have misunderstood Hongming? Nye Yuan mumbled to himself. Although I still feel enmity towards Hongming and that kid, I have to say that we might have really misunderstood about destroying Demonic City. The Thunder Sovereign's tone was much gentler. However, Ouyang Tian immediately jumped out to refute. Don't be fooled by those two cunning fellows. I saw Qianfen release the celestial devouring bug with my own eyes. It can't be fake. If Starlight sect leader, Dao Qi, was still alive, he would definitely speak up for Ouyang Tian. Unfortunately, only Ouyang Tian still insisted on denying Qianfen and Hongming. That was because Qianfen had killed his son, Ouyang Jun, at the foot of Demonic Peak No. 1. He swore he would not rest until he took revenge. Brother Ouyang, if Hongming and Qianfen really released the celestial devouring bug and wanted to destroy Demonic City, why are they still fighting the celestial devouring bug here? Demon Sovereign North asked. Ouyang Tian couldn't find an excuse either. He curled his lips and said, they're just putting on an act. They're afraid that they'll leave behind a terrible infamy in history. I'm sure that the grandson surnamed Xin will immediately flee with the Black Demon clan after his tribulation. Who can stop them then? Ouyang Tian's words woke them up with a start. This kind of speculation was not impossible. After all, Qin Feng was still undergoing tribulation and couldn't leave even if he wanted to. Big brother Jinbei, what do you think we should do now? The Thunder King asked. The golden tablet's mind was on the immortal stones, so naturally, it was eager for Qin Feng to be killed. But now that the array wall of the Devil Peak had been broken, the devouring immortal insects had flown in, and in the entire Devil Peak, only Qianfen's thunder tribulation could kill those immortal insects. If Qianfen died, so what if he obtained the immortal stones? Everyone would probably die in the Demon Peak. No matter what, the one with the surname Qin is currently killing the immortal bugs. Why don't we wait for a while? If that bastard wants to escape after successfully overcoming his tribulation, we'll kill him even if we have to risk our lives, said Jinbei. Everyone nodded in agreement, but Ouyang Tian shouted anxiously, Brother Jinbei, Qin Lai is a divine lord who descended to the world. He can kill a peak disaster transformation stage cultivator at the Ekayana Cauldron realm. If he succeeds, we won't be able to stop him. You don't have to say anything more. Anyway, I won't take action now. You guys can decide whether to take action or not. Jinbei leaped and disappeared into a Devil Peak. The Thunder King, Nye Yuan, and the other true form realm cultivators also dispersed, planning to wait and see. Ouyang Tian gritted his teeth, but he couldn't do anything to Qianfen. Even if Hongming didn't help Qianfen, he wouldn't be able to withstand the power of Qianfen's lightning punishment. The millions of cultivators outside the Devil Peak disappeared instantly. Most of them hid in the Devil Peaks where their sects were located. Some cultivators were a little slower and were instantly engulfed by the black fog. In the vast Devil Peak, only Qianfen was left sitting quietly at the bottom of the mountain. The sea of lightning above his head was tumbling. To the cultivators standing on the Devil Peaks, it looked like numerous thunder dragons were circling above the Devil Peak and roaring. Crackle! Thunder rumbled. As Qianfen kept throwing the formation flags in his hand, thunder flares exploded in all directions. When it landed, it was a scene of ruins. The entire mountain was blasted until there were crisscrossing cracks. It was as if the mountain was going to collapse and the earth was going to crack. Under such a fierce attack, the black fog that flew into the Devil Peak instantly exploded. Countless celestial devouring insects fell as if it was raining immortal insects. Why do I feel that something is wrong? Qianfen glanced at the sky and his expression changed slightly. Master, you killed the newly bred celestial devouring insects. The immortal insects that flew out of the heavenly peak are basically unaffected by the thunder tribulation, Little Pig said. Qianfen was startled. He felt that something was wrong. With Little Pig's reminder, he immediately found the root of the problem. Although the celestial devouring insects fell to the ground like pieces of the void exploding under the bombardment of the sea of lightning, the falling immortal insects had weak auras. They were comparable to the batch of immortal insects in the heavenly peak. Why is this happening? Qianfen couldn't understand. Little Pig said quickly, Master. The celestial devouring insects reproduce by splitting their consciousness. Splitting their consciousness. Qianfen's expression changed drastically. Little Pig continued, that's right. As long as these immortal insects are activated with their consciousness, they can split into a new life form. However, the main body will only split an extremely small amount of weak consciousness to ensure that the main body's consciousness is still strong, therefore, the new body is extremely weak at the beginning. With the strength of their consciousness, they can't withstand a single blow. If they encounter a cultivator or treasure with a powerful consciousness, they will perish. Therefore, the new body must devour a large amount of spiritual objects to strengthen their consciousness and mature. This is the reproduction process of the celestial devouring insects. Qianfen suddenly felt a sense of despair. He realized that the celestial devouring insects that were killed by the thunder tribulation were all new bodies. As for the mature bodies that flew out of the heavenly peak, they were not affected by the thunder tribulation at all. Senior Hongming, hurry and get everyone out of Devil City. Qianfen used his divine sense to transmit his voice. Hongming stood at the peak of the second Devil Peak and looked at the celestial devouring insects falling from the sky. He was extremely excited. He thought that Qianfen would be able to resolve the disaster of Devil City. However, he suddenly heard Qianfen's voice. Young hero Qin, why are we retreating? Is your thunder tribulation about to end? Hongming didn't understand. It's not a problem with the lightning tribulation. There's no time to explain now. In any case, Senior, hurry up and lead everyone away. Qianfen had already used all of his skills, but he still couldn't do anything to the celestial devouring bug. He was already powerless. If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't stop the thunder tribulation, he would have immediately driven the soaring cloud all to leave this place. There was no longer a need for Hongming to shout. Tragic cries suddenly came from the few demonic peaks. Ah! The devouring celestial insect is here. My body has been eaten. Everyone, run for your lives. These bugs are too terrifying. They can even eat up the formation bit by bit. There were 307 Devil Peaks crisscrossing in the Devil Peak territory. The higher the ranking of the Devil Peaks, the more powerful the defensive array formation. As for the Devil Peaks that were ranked at the bottom, they were only supported by a Grade 5 or Grade 6 defensive array formation. When they saw several mountains in the distance being engulfed by the black fog, to the point where they could no longer see their original appearances, the hearts of the cultivators on the other demon mountains fell into a state of chaos. It seemed that this disaster was still unavoidable. Doesn't young hero Qin's thunder tribulation have an effect on the devouring immortal bug? Why are these insects still able to rush up to the demon peak? No matter how powerful the thunder tribulation is, Qianfen is still one person. There are millions of these celestial devouring bugs. How can they be eliminated so easily? It seems that demonic city has completely fallen. Everyone, run for your lives. Some cultivators on the demon peaks whose formations had not been broken had already escaped on their swords. They might as well continue to hide in the demon peaks. As soon as their figures dashed out of the sky, they were instantly caught up by the black fog. Then, their bodies disappeared without a trace. The situation was completely out of control. The entire sky above the demon peak territory was covered by the black fog, enveloped by an intense aura of death. Ouyang Tian said furiously, "I told you that guy was acting. Do you believe me now?" The Thunder Monarch and the rest had cold expressions. There was a hint of undetectable panic in their eyes. Nia Yuan suddenly exclaimed, Qin Fen has been sitting in the black fog for so long. Why hasn't he been engulfed? Everyone had really neglected this problem. Now that Nia Yuan mentioned it, the few true form realm mighty figures all revealed expressions of disbelief. Moments later, Jin Bei raised his voice and shouted, "The armor on his body is strange. That aura. It's immortal armor. Immortal armor." The Thunder Monarch's eyes almost dropped to the ground. He said in a trembling voice, "Brother Jin Bei, are you sure?" In fact, Jin Bei had never seen immortal armor before. However, when his spirit consciousness scanned Qin Fen's body, he sensed a hidden aura that was similar to the immortal stone. That aura was pure and mysterious. It was definitely not an aura that belonged to the divine supreme continent. It must be immortal armor. No wonder he could remain unscathed in the black fog. That immortal armor has the effect of restraining immortal insects. Elder Jin Bei's eyes flickered. The few of them were excited. Demonic City was about to be destroyed. Even the few true form realm mighty figures were not confident that they could fight their way out. However, if they could snatch Qin Fen's immortal armor, they would definitely survive. Swoosh! After pressing the pass button, Ouyang Tian was the first to rush out of the demon peak. He did not even use a flying sword. Instead, he walked in the void. However, his speed was faster than a flying sword. In just a few breaths, he arrived above Qin Fen's head. "Little ant, I already said on the Through Heaven peak that I would crush your nascent soul with my own hands." Bang! His voice was still echoing in the sky when a vital essence giant hand fell. However, before it landed on the ground, a loud sound came from Qin Fen's body. He roared and flew into the sky, violet vital essence sweeping the surroundings. "You broke through." Ouyang Tian was shocked. Under the interference of the true form realm mighty figures and the destruction of the immortal insects, Qin Fen had actually successfully broken through to the disaster transformation state. The vital essence handprint collapsed a plane, but Qin Fen was no longer there. When his cold voice echoed in the sky, he was already hovering above Ouyang Tian's head with his saber. "You came at the right time. I'll use you to practice first." Chapter 21:12. After breaking through to the first stage disaster transformation realm, Qin Fen felt the quintessential essence in his body explode. It was as if his body was about to explode. As soon as he finished speaking, he slashed with his saber. The ruler slashed down, tearing a crack in the sky. The crack was filled with resplendent purple light. It looked like a gorgeous Milky Way under the black fog. The million cultivators on the demon peak sank instantly. Some fiendish cultivators who were fleeing in the sky also stopped instantly. The black fog engulfed those stunned cultivators. Their bodies disappeared rapidly, but they didn't notice it at all. Time seemed to stop for half a beat. By the time Ouyang Tian woke up, the saber chi had already exploded on his body. Quintessential essence surged like the sea and immediately destroyed the armor on his body. In the end, even his body was blasted into a bloody mess. Bang! With just one slash, Ouyang Tian fell from the sky and sank into a huge pit. The million fiendish cultivators woke up with a start and fell into an even deeper shock. Ouyang Tian was one of the few true form almighties in Mo, but he was as weak as an ant in Qin Fan's hands. Even the Thunder Monarch and the other true form almighties were stunned. They couldn't help but feel lucky that they hadn't attacked Qin Fan earlier. Young hero Qin, what should we do now? Hongming had already rushed out of Demon Peak No. 2. He had wanted to help when he realized that Ouyang Tian was going to attack Qin Fan. However, when he came out, he realized that the battle had already ended. Senior, quickly take everyone away from here. These spirit-devouring bugs have already matured. We can't kill them at all, Qin Fan said quickly. How can this be? I just saw that young hero Qin's thunder tribulation killed countless immortal bugs. Hongming didn't understand the situation. Those are just larvae. The spirit-devouring bugs reproduce by splitting their spiritual consciousness. They can split into countless new bodies at any time. Qin Fan had to tell Hongming the truth. Hongming was stunned. They could actually split into new bodies with their spiritual consciousness. This reproduction method was too terrifying. Many fiendish cultivators heard their conversation. The last hope in their hearts was completely shattered. A large number of cultivators had already started to escape. Even though they knew that they might die faster if they rushed out of the Demon Peak, at least they had a chance to survive. They could only wait for death if they stayed on the Demon Peak. The situation had reached an irreversible stage. The entire sky above Mo was covered in black fog. It was like hell. The Thunder Monarch, Nie Yuan, and a few other true form almighties also started to flee for their lives. In the face of this group of terrifying immortal bugs, their powerful quintessential essence attacks were completely useless. However, Jin Bei did not flee toward the crowd. Instead, he leaped toward Qin Fan. His hands were full of true essence, and he could unleash an earth-shattering force at any time. Amidst the chaos, no one noticed Jin Bei's actions. Even Qin Fan didn't notice his approach. Only Jin Bei knew that it was useless to keep running away. Even if he managed to escape from Demonic City, these celestial insects would devour the other regions. The real way to survive was to snatch away Qin Fan's celestial armor. Whoosh! However, before the golden tablet could even get close, a hurricane came from afar. The hurricane surged like a long dragon, and wherever it went, the magnetic field changed. The airflow stirred up the shape of a vortex in the sky, and even the wind froze. It was as if the void had been frozen. Some people had already discovered the strange changes in the distant sky, and exclamations rose and fell. The hurricane seemed to be extremely far away, but in just a few breaths, it was already right in front of them. What's that? There seems to be a person in the hurricane. Who is that? How can he be so fast? Just as everyone started discussing, the figure had already appeared in the sky above Demonic Peak, and a low growl was heard. Don't block the way, or you will die. This sentence was directed at Jin Bei, as Jin Bei happened to be in the path of the person's rapid advance. Jin Bei's first thought was that this person had also seen Qin Fan's celestial armor and had come for it. How dare you behave atrociously in front of me? You must have a death wish. Jin Bei did not back down, as the celestial armor on Qin Fan was his only chance of survival. As soon as he finished speaking, the figure had already approached. It seemed as if he had merely lifted his hand, and a suffocating, destructive aura swept up. Rumble. Jin Bei's body exploded in the sky, and his flesh and blood flew everywhere. As for his baby body, which was fleeing in panic, it also exploded in an instant. The intense explosions continued. A strange aura floated in the demonic peak. The million fiendish cultivators were dumbfounded. The person who had just been killed was Demonic City's top itinerant cultivator expert, Senior Jean Bei. Before Hong Ming had attained the true form realm level 2, he had been the mighty with the highest cultivation level in all of Demonic City. However, such an expert, who could only look up to him, had been killed in an instant by a person who had suddenly appeared. This person's strength was even above Qin Fen's. However, what happened next was even more shocking. They even forgot about Jean Bei's death for a moment. After the mysterious person destroyed Jean Bei, he continued to advance without stopping. In the end, he flew to the highest peak of the demonic peak, held a small gourd in his hand, and was sucking the celestial insects that filled the sky. The small gourd was a Dharma treasure, but its suction force was shocking. It actually formed a hurricane in midair, and all the celestial devouring insects that floated nearby were instantly sucked in. On the peak of the mountain, one person and one gourd were sucking in all the celestial insects that filled the sky. In less than half an hour, the black fog in the sky above Demonic City gradually dissipated, and it felt as if the sun had reappeared. The mysterious person stood under the light like a savior of the world. Oh my God! Who is this person? He can even subdue the celestial devouring insects? He killed Senior Jean Bei with one palm. There doesn't seem to be such a godly person in the entire West Sea continent. Could he be a top-notch expert who specially rushed over from the East Sea continent to rescue Demonic City? That doesn't make sense. The identity of the person who had come was a mystery. His body was enveloped by a layer of dazzling golden light. He had appeared for so long that no one could see his face under the golden light. Even Qin Fen was shocked. He had already tried to use his spiritual consciousness to scan the area. However, when his spiritual consciousness reached a few hundred meters around the mysterious person, it could no longer scan the area. Senior Hong Ming, do you know this person? Qin Fen used his spiritual consciousness to send a voice transmission to Hong Ming. Hong Ming suddenly woke up with a start. She subconsciously shook her head and said, I don't know him. This is definitely not a cultivator from Demonic City. He shouldn't be a cultivator from the West Sea continent either. Although I can't see through his realm, this person has at least surpassed the true form realm. Surpassed the true form realm. Qin Fen was shocked. The only realm he knew at the moment was the true form realm. Could the other party have already ascended to immortality? Senior Hong Ming, are you saying that this person is from the celestial world? Qin Fen immediately asked. Hong Ming smiled bitterly and said, how can the ascension be so simple? There is still the real God realm above the true form realm. It is rumored that only those who have reached the peak of the real God realm are qualified to comprehend the ascension. As for whether or not they can ascend to immortality, that is still another matter. Qin Fen was shocked. It seemed like he was still very far away from the ascension. Senior, do you think that person is at the real God realm? That is hard to say. In any case, you and I are no match for him. No one in the entire Demonic City can stop him. I can only hope that he is here to help. Otherwise, Demonic City will still be in danger. Hong Ming let out a long sigh. Chapter 21:13. After the mysterious man appeared, the sky above Mo Duke seemed to be bleached white. The black mist became fainter and fainter until it disappeared. Countless god-devouring bugs were taken into the man's gourd. Nobody knew what kind of treasure the gourd was. It was only the size of a palm, but it seemed to have an endless space. Little pig, is that something like a storage ring? Even Qin Fen didn't understand. Ordinary storage rings can't subdue god-devouring bugs. Master. I suspect it's a small world, Little Pig said. Qin Fen's expression changed drastically. Small world. You mean like the astral space? That's right, Master. That gourd is most likely a small world. Actually, when a small world is refined to a certain extent, it can transform into all kinds of magic treasures and be carried around. Qin Fen had obtained the astral space long ago, but this was the first time he heard that a small world could be refined. Did this mean that the astral space could also be refined into a magic treasure? How do we refine a small world? Master. This method is uncertain. It mainly depends on the nature of the small world. Small worlds come in all shapes and sizes. Some are like the astral space you have, which is a small world for cultivation and survival. Some are like the gourd in the mysterious man's hand, which is a place to store immortal bugs. There are also small worlds that are collapsed spaces. Cultivators who enter them will most likely die, therefore, different small worlds are refined in different ways. Actually, Master changed the astral space from its initial chaotic state to the cultivation holy land with dense spirit chi. This is a type of refinement. After Little Pig's explanation, Qin Fen understood the small world better. At this moment, an old voice came from the sky. It traveled into everyone's ears and echoed in their minds. Who can tell me where these bugs came from? Qin Fen immediately came back to his senses. The person who spoke was the mysterious man. All the sects in Mo were silent. Many people were still in shock. The few powerful cultivators who were awake were trembling in fear. They didn't dare to reply. Even the Thunder Monarch and the other true form mighty figures were extremely nervous. The mysterious big shot in front of them had easily killed the top itinerant cultivator in Moda City, the Dark Demon Golden Tablet. If he wanted to go on a killing spree, the entire Moda City forces would not be able to stop him. Senior. Those devouring celestial bugs flew out from Devil Mountain No. 1. In the end, Hong Ming stood up. The entire Black Demon clan was on tenterhooks. Hong Chenwu's mind was in a mess. A powerful divine sense instantly swept over Hong Ming. Where is Demon Mountain No. 1? Senior. There are a total of 308 demon mountains in Demonic City. The first demon mountain was originally here, but after those devouring immortal insects flew out, the demon mountain collapsed, Hong Ming said. Take me there now, the mysterious man said coldly. Ah. Devil Peak No. 1 has already collapsed and is now in ruins. Senior, do you want to go there? Hong Ming could not understand what the other party was thinking. The man's tone was somewhat impatient as he said, cut the crap. Whatever I say goes. Although Hong Ming was a little unhappy, there was nothing she could do against a mysterious big shot who had killed the golden tablet with a raise of his hand and had even subdued the devouring immortal bug. Just as the two of them were about to leave, Qin Feng landed beside Hong Ming and said, Senior Hong, I'll go with you. Hong Ming panicked and gave Qin Feng a look. Young hero Qin, stay here and help me take care of Qin Wu and the Black Demon clan. Qin Feng understood what Hong Ming meant. Hong Ming was not sure if he could come back alive. If he died, someone from the Black Demon clan would have to come and take care of the Black Demon clan. However, Qin Feng could not stay in Demonic City to look after the Black Demon clan. Moreover, he suspected that the reason the mysterious man was looking for Demon Mountain No. 1 was because of the divine stone formation. What's your name? Where are you from? The mysterious man suddenly asked. The entire Demonic City was stunned. Not long ago, the Golden Tablet was killed because he stood in the mysterious man's flight path. It showed that the mysterious man was decisive and arrogant. It was really unexpected that he would take the initiative to ask for Qin Feng's name and where he came from. Even Qin Feng did not expect it. I'm Qin Feng from the North Sand Continent. Qin Feng knew he could not lie in front of a godly almighty like the mysterious man, so he told the truth. When he finished speaking, the entire demonic city could feel an aura fluctuation in the sky. The aura came from the mysterious man as if his state of mind had fluctuated. The fluctuation of his emotions caused the airflow in the sky to move. It showed how powerful the mysterious man was. "Do you know me, Senior?" Qin Feng was puzzled. The airflow fluctuation quickly disappeared and the sky returned to normal as if it had never happened. "Were you the one who caused the 9 transformations true thunder just now?" The mysterious man asked without answering. Qin Feng was shocked again. Although many almighties could tell that his breakthrough triggered the thunder tribulation, only the mysterious man in front of him could tell that it was the 9 transformations true thunder. "Yes, Senior." "Very well. Bring me to Demon Mountain number 1 alone," the mysterious man said. Everyone looked puzzled as they could not understand the situation. Hongming hurriedly said, "Senior, let me bring you there. Young hero Qin is not from Demonic City and is not familiar with this place. If you dare to speak out of turn again, I'll kill you with one palm." A gust of cold air shot out from the mysterious man's body. It felt as if the ice heart flame had been released. The temperature of the entire Demon Mountain region plummeted. Qin Feng hurriedly stepped on his flying sword and disappeared into the distance. His voice reverberated in the sky. "Senior. Let's go." The two of them were extremely fast. When the demonic city cultivators came back to their senses, they could no longer find them with their divine senses. "Father. Will Qin Feng be okay? I want to go to Demon Mountain number 1 to find him." Hong Chen-Wu was extremely flustered. Hong Ming hurriedly stopped her daughter from acting rashly. She glanced at the sky above Demon Mountain number 1 and said, "Young hero Qin seems to know that mysterious senior. Also, that senior did not kill the innocent. He is not the demon we thought. Don't worry too much. Let's stay on Demon Mountain number 2 and wait for young hero Qin to return." The Demon Mountain region was in an uproar. Too many things had happened recently and they could not digest it. That mysterious senior is so powerful. He single-handedly resolved the disaster of Demonic City. Who is he? Will he come back to destroy Demonic City after going to Demon Mountain number 1? Can't you tell? That person is Qin Feng's backer. They know each other. Some people had a wild imagination, but more people believed in this speculation. Qin Feng had entered the disaster transformation realm at a young age. He had killed Dao Qi, who was at the peak of the disaster transformation realm, and used the power of the lightning tribulation to strike the demonic city's true form mighty figures. On the other hand, that mysterious person had destroyed the golden tablet with one palm and absorbed the sky full of devouring immortal bugs with one gourd. The two of them were simply born partners. Chapter 21:14. Qin Fen stepped on his flying sword and raised his speed to the maximum, but he found that the mysterious elder was following him closely. If the elder didn't know the location of Demon Mountain number 1, he would have left Qin Fen thousands of meters behind in an instant. Qin Fen gave up on the idea of escaping. He knew that even if he used the flying cloud all, he wouldn't be able to escape the elder's divine sense. "Senior, you went to Demon Mountain number 1 to look for the devouring insects, right?" Qin Fen broke the silence. The mysterious elder didn't answer. Qin Fen continued, "Actually, when Demon Mountain number 1 opened not long ago, I entered the sky-piercing main peak. Those devouring insects flew out from there. Later, I destroyed the entire sky-piercing main peak in order to kill the insects, causing the entire Demon Mountain number 1 to collapse. There are no devouring insects left." Qin Fen wanted to dispel the elder's idea of going to Demon Mountain number 1. After all, there was an immortal stone formation hidden in the cave abode. It would be troublesome if it was discovered. "What did you see at the place where the devouring insects were?" The mysterious elder suddenly asked, ignoring Qin Fen's words. The flying sword under Qin Fen's feet shook a little. He felt uneasy. I didn't find anything. The mysterious elder said indifferently, the devouring insects are insects from the immortal world. Although they are extremely powerful, the environment they need to grow in is extremely harsh. These insects can only evolve and mature with the help of the heavenly demon formation. Although the devouring insects in Demon City are not fully mature, they have gone through several transformations. Qin Fen's expression changed. He had a bad feeling that the elder already knew the secret of the immortal stone formation. The mysterious elder continued, as for the heavenly demon formation, it needs the phoenix flower as the formation eye and an extremely powerful energy supply. Even in the 4 great continents of the divine supreme continent, there is no place that can support the heavenly demon formation. Do you know why? Why? Qin Fen asked subconsciously. Because the devouring insects are not from the divine supreme continent, and the heavenly demon formation is not a formation of the divine supreme continent. Therefore, there is no spiritual source on the divine supreme continent that can satisfy them, the mysterious elder said. Qin Fen's thoughts raced. He guessed that the elder already knew the secret of the immortal stone formation, but he wasn't 100% sure. If it is as Senior said, how did the devouring insects above Demon City evolve? Didn't this mean that the great heavenly demon formation had appeared in Shanghai? What spirit source does this formation rely on to support it? Qin Feng asked even though he already knew the answer. He was trying to find out the other party's background. The old man chuckled. Everything will be clear once we reach the first Devil Mountain. The bad premonition in Qin Feng's heart became stronger and stronger. He had even thought of taking him somewhere else to bluff his way through, but now it seemed like that idea was completely childish. After the time it took for a few incense sticks to burn, the two of them arrived at the foot of Devil Mountain No. 1. The towering mountain peak had turned into ruins, and even the array gate at the entrance of the Devil Mountain had disappeared. Suddenly, a few black shadows flew out of the ruins. They floated in the air for a moment and instantly shot toward Qin Fen and the mysterious man. The speed of those black shadows was so fast that Qin Fen didn't even have time to react. His divine sense was already bound, and when the feeling of death enveloped his body, it quickly disappeared. The mysterious man was holding a small gourd and had already put those black shadows into it. He said with some excitement, there are actually mature devouring insects here. It seems that there really is a great heavenly demon formation. Without Qin Fen leading the way, the mysterious man had already flown into the cave where the immortal stone array was hidden. Qin Fen immediately followed. He discovered that the group of mature devouring immortal insects had all flown away, and those immortal insects were a serious threat to his life. The cave abode had collapsed, and the immortal stone formation had been destroyed by Qin Fen. As for the spirit quintessence pool and the phoenix flower, they had already been taken away by Qin Fen. Someone has been here, the mysterious old man said coldly. Qin Fen became nervous. Just as he was thinking about how to explain, he suddenly felt the other party's powerful divine sense sweep over. The moment the divine sense landed on him, he had already lost the ability to move. He didn't even have time to hide in the astral world. You have been here. Did you take away all the immortal stones? The old man asked coldly. Senior. What are you doing? I have never been here. Qin Fen didn't dare to admit it. He was deeply afraid that he would lose his life in the next second. You don't have to quibble. Maybe you can save your life if you answer my question seriously. The other party's divine sense seemed to be able to see through everything. It made Qin Fen feel like his entire body was being seen through. Qin Fen was silent for a moment and finally told the truth, I have indeed been here. The old man's tone became agitated. Is there an immortal stone formation here? I don't want anything else. give me all the immortal stones. I did find the immortal stones, but I used some to break through. I don't have many left now. How many are there in total? Put away your divine sense first. I will give you all the immortal stones. As soon as Qianfen finished speaking, he immediately felt the restraint on his body disappear. However, he didn't have the slightest thought of escaping. Through the mysterious old man's move just now, he had already deeply realized the difference in strength between them. It was not an exaggeration to say that the difference was like heaven and earth. Qianfen's thoughts moved slightly and dozens of immortal stones fell to the ground. The mysterious old man casually grabbed them and took all the immortal stones. It really is the stones from the immortal stone compass. Do you have any more? It's best not to hide it. Otherwise, your life will be in danger, the old man said. Qianfen had already given all the immortal stones to the old man because he knew that he couldn't play tricks in front of such a godly venerable. I found a total of 108 immortal stones here. I used 28 to break through from the cauldron-filling state to the disaster transformation state. The remaining 80 immortal stones are all given to you, Qianfen said. The old man's divine sense scanned Qianfen and then nodded. You are sensible. It is fate that we meet for the second time. Take this secret manual. Qianfen was shocked. The old man said that they met for the second time. However, when Qianfen glanced at the secret manual, his previous shock disappeared and turned into a new shock. This is the third chapter of the creation of heaven and earth skill. The old man didn't seem interested in the secret manual and said indifferently, this secret manual has a total of 4 chapters. I still haven't collected the 4th chapter. You don't have it either, right? Qianfen had already guessed the old man's identity and immediately asked, Are you a senior from the Purple Cloud Mountains' secret realm? The old man sneered. Ha! Back then, you kept calling me an old monster. Qianfen was extremely embarrassed. He never thought that he would meet the old monster sealed in the cave abode again. Thinking about how he cheated the old man of his treasures and didn't do anything for him, Qianfen once again worried about his safety. I said I won't kill you, so I won't. Although you didn't save me that time, you at least talked to me. You might not know, but before you, I haven't talked to anyone for 100 years. The old man saw through Qianfen's thoughts. Chapter 21:15. The old man paused for a moment as his eyes lit up. He looked Qianfen up and down before continuing. Of course, the main reason why I'm not killing you is because of your identity as a tribulation taker. Qianfen was shocked. Senior, you can tell I'm a tribulation taker. The old man laughed. Ha! Any cultivator who triggers a lightning tribulation is a tribulation taker chosen by the heavenly axiom. Most of these people are killed by the lightning tribulation, but those who survive the lightning tribulation will definitely become an ultimate god. Qianfen first learned that he was a tribulation taker from barefoot immortal Yunding. He did not believe it at first, but he had begun to accept it after experiencing various things over the years. May I know your name, senior? Qianfen asked with a fist salute. Sigh. It's been so many years since anyone asked for my name. I've almost forgotten it myself. The old man looked up to the sky and sighed. After thinking for a long time, he said with uncertainty, It should be He Shuhin. Qianfen was speechless. He had almost forgotten his own name. How many years had this old man lived? Senior I've heard a senior talk about the 1,000-year calamity. According to him, every time a calamity comes, a tribulation taker will appear. Moreover, there will be more than one tribulation taker. Is this true? Qianfen wanted to confirm. He Shuhin nodded and said, Yes. That's what the ancient book said. Then how can I find other tribulation takers? Qin Fen felt insignificant ever since he met He Shuhan. He believed that the Millennium Tribulation would be devastating and he felt powerless to face it alone. The heavenly axiom has its own arrangements. He Shuhan's answer made Qin Fen want to bite someone. Senior, can you help me face the tribulation? After all, this is a tribulation for all human cultivators in the divine continent. If you fail to face the tribulation, won't you die? Qin Fen deliberately emphasized the seriousness of the problem. He Shuhan chuckled. Ha! There's no need for you to play tricks in front of me, you little brat. I've eaten more pills than you've eaten air. Only you tribulation takers can deal with the 1,000-year tribulation. It's useless even if others participate. Besides, I still have a big grudge to settle, so I don't have the time to fool around with you. Qin Fen knew he could no longer hold on to his backer as he had no right to speak in front of a peak ultimate god. Since senior he doesn't care about the lives of hundreds of millions of cultivators on the ultimate god continent, I can only respect your personal choice. However, you should at least leave me some treasures so that I, the tribulation taker, can protect myself. Qin Fen said seriously. He Shuhan was amused. You Aunt, your abilities are mediocre, but your eloquence can be said to be unparalleled in the world. Who said this old man didn't give you anything? I don't think I need to emphasize how precious the creation of heaven and earth art is, right? What's the point of just having a cultivation technique? How can I break through without the help of immortal stones? Qin Fen muttered to himself. He Shuhan scolded, you have the nerve to say that. You used 20 of the 108 immortal stones in the immortal stone formation. You're just a cauldron-filling realm ant, yet you used immortal stones to break through to the disaster transformation realm. You're wasting God's gift. Qin Fen had stepped into the disaster transformation realm and his cultivation level was comparable to an early-stage truth form realm mighty figure. Not long ago, he had seriously injured Ouyang Tian with a single slash. At this moment, hearing He Shuhan call him an ant, it made him very unhappy. I used 20 immortal stones to break through from cauldron-filling realm level 1 to disaster transformation realm. Is that considered a waste? Qin Fen complained. Humph. Immortal stones are scarce on the divine continent. They're only worthwhile if they're used to ascend to immortality. Anything else is a waste. He Shuhan paused for a moment before continuing, don't think about immortal stones now. I won't give them to you. Moreover, it's not the time to think about other things. You should find a way to solve the West Sea continent's crisis. Qin Fen's expression changed. The West Sea continent's crisis. Why do you say that, senior? The immortal stone formation is an ancient formation used to seal a realm. Once it's formed, it will gradually disturb the magnetic field above the realm. If the formation is destroyed, the magnetic field above the realm will become chaotic, forming a distorted space, He Shuhan said. Qin Fen immediately thought of the collapsed space above the Purple Cloud Mountain range in the North Sand continent. He Shuhan seemed to read his mind and continued, the sky above the Purple Cloud Mountain range is an example. Plus, the immortal stone formation in the Bailing Mountain cave abode only damaged the compass and there was a huge crack in the sky. Now that you've destroyed the entire immortal stone formation in Demon Mountain No. 1, you can imagine that the sky outside is probably full of holes. Qin Fen didn't dare to think about it. If what He Shuhan said was true, wouldn't the West Sea continent become hell? Who dared to stay here? They would be sucked away by the black hole if they weren't careful. The spirit chi would be slowly sucked away by the black hole. The spirit chi would completely disappear from the West Sea continent after it was sucked away. What was the situation like outside when Senior came? Qin Fen immediately asked. He Shuhan said indifferently, it's okay now. There's a crack in the sky about 10 miles away. It's not big, only a few dozen meters in diameter. Qin Fen rolled his eyes. Why didn't I take the immortal stone with me when I left Ling Mountain? That's the reason. No matter how greedy and immoral I am, I wouldn't harm a continent's cultivators for my own benefit. Look at you, you're crazy. He Shuhan said. Qin Fen wanted to rush up and bite He Shuhan to death. He didn't know that the consequences would be so severe. Otherwise, he wouldn't have destroyed the immortal stone formation. Plus, the immortal stone was in He Shuhan's hands now. This old man really didn't care. Stop talking nonsense. Is there a way to dissolve the crack? Qin Fen was angry. He Shuhan didn't get angry. He said seriously, there's only one way. Find the next location of the immortal stone formation. Qin Fen didn't understand, next location. That's right. He Shuhan said, maybe you don't know about the immortal stone formation. There's only one formation. Qin Fen immediately interrupted, how is that possible? I clearly found an immortal stone formation in the North Sand Continent and the West Sea Continent. The immortal stone formation you see here is the one you saw in the Ling Mountain Cave. He Shuhan explained, actually, there's only one immortal stone formation. But every time it's attacked or damaged, it will move. There's a pattern to the location of the formation. As long as you're an expert in formations, you can calculate the location of the next formation. Qin Fen was in disbelief. He was a level 8 formation immortal now, but this was the first time he heard that a formation could move on its own. And the distance it could move to was between the North Sand Continent and the West Sea Continent. However, after thinking about it carefully, Qin Feng realized that there was no need to hate in terms of time. Back then, there was a crack in the sky above the Violet Cloud Mountains, but it disappeared afterward. This was most likely because the Great Immortal Stone Formation had moved to the West Sea Continent. But Qin Fen didn't understand. If the Immortal Stone Formation could move on its own when it was damaged, and it could repair itself, then why would the Spirit Marrow Pond and the Phoenix Flower appear every time it moved? And if the formation could repair itself, then wouldn't the crack in the sky disappear after some time? Qin Fen did not need to ask these questions as He Shuhan had already started to answer them. According to my personal speculation, the force that set up the Celestial Stone Formation had already thought of a follow-up plan. They had set up many formation bases on the Divine Supreme Continent. Once one of the bases was damaged, the Celestial Stone Formation would automatically move to a new base. As for the crack in the sky, once the Immortal Stone Formation starts operating again, it will slowly disappear. But this time, you broke the Immortal Stone Compass, so it will take a long time for the formation to recover. So, you need to find the next base of the Immortal Stone Formation as soon as possible and repair it. Qin Fen had a new understanding of the Immortal Stone Formation. He also learned about the Eastfield Continent's Kobe clan's secret from Chu Fan's letter. He believed that the Immortal Stone Formation was set up by the Kobe clan. No matter what the truth was, it wasn't important now. Qin Fen's priority now was to find the Immortal Stone Formation's new base and solve the crisis of the West Sea Continent's crack. Senior He, with my current formation skills, I'm afraid it will be difficult to find the next base of the Immortal Stone Formation. Please help me. Qin Fen knew He Shuhan knew that since he could tell him the secret of the Immortal Stone Formation, he must have a way to find the new base. He Shuhan sighed, sigh. This old man owes you. Even I will have a hard time finding the next base, but I can try my best. Qin Fen cupped his fists and said, thank you for your help, Senior He. Once I fix the Immortal Stone Formation, you will be the benefactor of the West Sea Continent's cultivators. Ha! Don't talk nonsense with me. Even if I become the world savior, what's the use? Do you think I want the worship of those ants? They are useless to me. He Shuhan said nonchalantly. Qin Fen knew that he wasn't being arrogant, but a pride that came from his heart. This pride came from his unfathomable realm. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that the West Sea continent's cultivators were ants in his eyes. Help me protect me. Deducing the immortal stone formation is very tiring. I can't be distracted. After saying a few words, Shuhan sat down cross-legged. He took out a few formation flags and threw them in front of him. Then he scattered a few immortal stones. The formation flags were arranged in a strange way that even Qianfen couldn't understand. Although there were only 18 formation flags, they were not fixed. The 18 formation flags were constantly changing their positions, forming different formations in the void. Qianfen was just watching from the side, but he had unknowingly gained a lot of new insights into formations. Time flew by. A month later, Shuhan suddenly clapped his hands and shouted, "I found the new base. It's near Quicksand River." Chapter 21:16. Quicksand River. What is that place? Qianfen asked. Shuhan threw out another formation flag. When the formation flag hovered in the air, a huge formation screen appeared in the void, displaying an image. Inside the formation screen was a boundless desert. Just looking at the image, one could feel the heat and barren. This extremely harsh environment was like the Nine Heavens snow region, completely unsuitable for human cultivators to live in. This is the place. It should be in the West Sea region, but I can't find its exact location. You'll have to find it yourself, Shuhan said. As time was tight, Qianfen cupped his fists to express his gratitude and immediately set off. He first returned to Charm City to ask Hongming about the situation of Quicksand River. On the way back, Qianfen read the 3rd chapter of the Creation of Heaven and Earth skill. This chapter was called the Creation chapter, which mainly explained the knowledge of creating small worlds. Small worlds were extremely complicated and difficult to understand. Even though Qianfen already had the astral space, he couldn't understand the essence of the 3rd chapter in a short period of time. When he arrived at Charm City, he was immediately shocked by the scene in front of him. He was no longer in the mood to study the Creation of Heaven and Earth skill. In just a short month, the sky above Charm City had undergone earth-shattering changes. The originally blue sky and white clouds were now shrouded in a gray haze. Cracks and holes could be seen everywhere, as if it had been eaten by astral beasts. The millions of demonic cultivators that had gathered at the bottom of the Demon Peak were long gone. It was difficult to even see a shadow outside. Qianfen realized that the disaster brought about by the destruction of the immortal stone formation was more severe than he had imagined. It was even more destructive than the celestial devouring bug. Who are you? This is Demon Peak number 2. Outsiders are not allowed to approach. As soon as Qianfen landed outside Demon Peak number 2, a few demonic cultivator guards flew out. However, before they could do anything, another old voice came from the peak. Don't be rude. This is Senior Qianfen. Hearing Qianfen's name, the expressions of the demonic cultivator guards changed drastically. They immediately displayed a humble attitude to welcome Qianfen. Ever since his breakthrough a month ago triggered the lightning calamity battle, Qianfen's name had spread throughout Charm City. Everyone knew him. Young hero Qin is back. It really is young hero Qin. More than a dozen figures flew out from the second Devil Mountain. The one in the lead was the current Devil King of the Black Demon Clan, Hongming. Following behind him were the great elders of the Red Demon Clan with high status. The elders stood in 2 rows, all of them at the Disaster Transformation realm, but they bowed, not daring to look at Qianfen. Although it had been more than a month, the scene of Qianfen killing Disaster Transformation State Peak Stage Dao Qi with one strike and using the power of the Lightning Tribulation to blast the true form mighty figures was unforgettable. Just as Hongming spoke, he landed in front of Qianfen. When he saw that Qianfen had returned unscathed, he was so moved that tears streamed down his face. Senior Hongming, sorry for worrying you for the past month. Qin Fen felt a surge of warmth in his heart. In the divine world, a strange place, he had made many friends like Hongming, who were more like family than him. Haha. As long as he could come back safely, everything was fine. Wait a moment, I'll go tell Chen Wu. If she knows that you're back, she'll definitely be very happy. Before Hongming left, Qin Fen said, Senior, don't tell Chen Wu that I'm back yet. The entire West Ocean continent is in a huge disaster now. I still have some business to attend to. The smile on Hongming's face disappeared, and he said seriously, Young hero Qin, are you talking about the space splitting? Do you have a way to resolve this crisis? Senior Hongming, do you know about the Quicksand River? Qin Fen asked. Quicksand River. You want to go there? That's a dangerous place. I'd advise you not to go. Hongming frowned. The Quicksand River was terrifying enough to make a true form realm cultivator change his expression at the mention of it. However, Qin Fen had no way out now that the disaster was imminent. Even if it was the 18 levels of hell, he had to force himself to go there. Senior Hongming, there are some things that I can't explain, but I can tell you clearly that only by going to the Quicksand River can we have a chance to resolve the West Ocean continent's disaster. Qin Fen was extremely serious. Hongming looked incredulous. He couldn't understand how the Quicksand River and the West Ocean continent space-splitting could be connected. However, since Qin Fen had said this, Hongming chose to believe him. He had seen Qin Fen's many extraordinary techniques. He had helped him get rid of the elixir poison, used the thunder tribulation to blast a true form realm mighty figure, and even survived that mysterious person. Actually, Hongming was very curious about how Qin Fen had escaped from that mysterious person. However, he didn't ask. He knew that there had to be some unspeakable secret. Young hero Qin, the Quicksand River is the territory of the Dead Sea. The environment there is terrible, and not even a blade of grass grows there. Only ghost cultivators can survive there. Human cultivators and fiendish cultivators basically die there. Hongming explained the situation of the Quicksand River in detail. Qin Fen hadn't expected the Quicksand River to be near the Dead Sea. If possible, he didn't want to provoke ghost cultivators. They had too many techniques and strange cultivation techniques. They were definitely not easy to deal with. However, Qin Fen had no choice now. Since Hebuhen had predicted that the new Immortal Stone Array would appear near the Quicksand River, he had to find the array as soon as possible. Young hero Qin, if you really want to go to the Quicksand River, I will go with you. Hongming's tone was firm. There's no need. I can go alone. Senior won't be able to help much. After learning about the situation of the Quicksand River, Qin Fen didn't want Hongming to take the risk with him. However, Hongming insisted on going. Young hero Qin, I won't be the only one going with you. We can also get a large group of powerful figures. Now, not only are there cracks appearing in the sky above Shanghai, Snow Domain City is also having the same phenomenon. The pinnacle monarchs of the two regions are having a hard time dealing with this. A few days ago, we even had a large meeting and gathered more than 20 truth realization state masters from both regions to discuss countermeasures. However, the appearance of the cracks was too sudden. No one can find the reason. If young hero Qin really has a way to resolve this crisis, why don't you gather those true form realm mighty figures to work together? That way, the chances of success will be greatly increased. Qin Fen was a little tempted. If the Quicksand River was really as terrifying as Hongming said, given his current strength, it wouldn't bode well for him to kill his way over alone. He might even be killed by powerful ghost cultivators before he could find the Immortal Stone Array. However, if he gathered all the true form realm mighty figures of Shanghai and Snowfield City to go together, all sorts of monsters would be scared away. All right. Let's split up. I will go to Snowfield City first. Senior, you will be responsible for gathering all the true form realm mighty figures of Shanghai. Then, we will meet at the entrance of the Dead Sea. At the Light Tower in Snowfield City. More than 10 top powerful figures gathered together. This scene had happened a few months ago. At that time, everyone had been discussing the sky ceiling array that Qin Fen had set up. Now, they were worried about the cracks that had appeared in the void. There is no doubt that those cracks are caused by the spatial displacement. Right now, Snowfield City has become hell. In fact, it is even more terrifying than hell. If we are not careful, even we will be sucked into the spatial displacement and die instantly. Snowfield City's Deputy City Lord Wang Zhongming explained the current situation. Everyone looked solemn. Even though they had reached the disaster transformation realm or even the true form realm, they were helpless in the face of a collapsing space. I originally planned to release the news and ask the Ghost King of the Dead Sea to help us break the sky ceiling array above Snowfield City. Who would have thought that this sky ceiling array would be so powerful? In just half a year, it has already started devouring the void, said Snowfield City Lord Xingzhongtian. I heard that a devouring celestial bug appeared in Shanghai some time ago. Do you think that the crack in the void this time was caused by the celestial bug? Asked Gao Jingchao, the family leader of Snowfield City's 8-star Gao family. The number 1 itinerant senior, Silent Spirit, shook his head. The crack in the void this time clearly has nothing to do with the celestial bug. This is the power of the sky ceiling array. It seems like we can't stay in Snowfield City any longer. When Silent Spirit mentioned leaving Snowfield City, many people were unwilling. They had already stepped into the ranks of the top-notch experts here. Which one of them wasn't in existence that could destroy the heavens, the earth, and the air? Moreover, they had established huge sects and forces. If they really left, all of their efforts would be wasted. Is there really no other way? Sect leader say something, said Xia Wansher, the sect leader of the 8-star Heaven Cultivation sect. Everyone looked at He Qianjin. As the sect leader of the most powerful formation sect in Snowfield City, He Qianjin was everyone's hope at the moment. After all, this disaster was related to the formation, so they could only rely on He Qianjin. He Qianjin sighed. Sigh. Senior brothers and junior brothers, that sky ceiling array is a level 9 ancient formation. Given my level 7 array king level, how can I resolve it? After a moment of silence, he continued, there is only one way to resolve this crisis, and that is to find the person who set up the formation. Did Deputy City Lord Wang Lu mention that the person who set up the formation was a human cultivator? Wang Lu Zhongming said, when the sky ceiling array appeared in the sky above Snowfield, sect leader Xia and I were the first to arrive. Senior Silent Spirit also came later. When I arrived, I sensed the aura of a ghost cultivator. At first, I thought it was the work of a ghost cultivator, but later I found the deputy head of the Nine Yin Temple, Tao Huigu, and learned that he saw a body condensation realm level 4 human cultivator set up the sky ceiling array. As for that cultivator's appearance, Tao Huigu only gave a simple description. I can't restore it. The last trace of hope in everyone's hearts was shattered. Putting aside the fact that Wang Lu Zhongming couldn't restore the appearance of the person who set up the formation, so what if he could? There were trillions of cultivators in Snowfield City. Finding a person was like finding a needle in a haystack. Moreover, the ghost cultivators of the Dead Sea were all cunning and sinister. Who could be sure that what Tao Huigu said was true? Just as everyone was in a deadlock, a clear voice came from outside. The person you are looking for is me. I can lead everyone to resolve the crisis in Snowfield City. Everyone in the room looked at each other in disbelief. The light tower had a spiritual sense shielding array formation that could block the spiritual sense of any cultivator below the true form realm. However, the voice just now had been transmitted through the spiritual sense. Now, all the true form realm mighty figures in Snowfield City were sitting in the light tower. Who could it be? Chapter 21:17. Just as the dozen or so almighties were feeling puzzled, a black shadow flashed past, and a young hero was already standing in the Tower of Light. Everyone stood up with a swoosh. Before Qianfen had appeared, they hadn't even sensed his presence. Who are you? Xing Zhongtian's body surged with powerful true essence. As the city lord of Shuiyu City, he felt like he was slapped in the face. Before Qin Feng said anything, Wang Lu Zhongming and the others exclaimed. It's you. You're still alive. Impossible. This is impossible. You were only body condensation state a few months ago and now you're disaster transformation state. Celestial stones. This must be the effect of the celestial stones. A few months ago, when the Nine Heavens Snow region opened, Wang Lu Zhongming and the others met Qin Fen and Hong Qinwu in a secret realm cave in the Ninth Snow region. At the time, Qin Fen was only a body condensation mid-stage. If Wang Lu Zhongming and the others weren't trapped by the ancient formation, they would have killed Qin Fen on the spot. Qin Feng escaped with the ice heart flame and many celestial stones. Now that they saw Qin Feng a few months later, he was disaster transformation state level 1. Vice City Lord Wang Lu, you know this person. Who is he? Xing Zhongtian didn't know what happened. The other powerful beings in the room were also confused. Wang Lu Zhongming calmed down a bit and said, City Lord. This person entered Nine Heavens Snow region a month ago and found the 9th level. He was only body condensation state middle stage then, but now he's disaster transformation state. Xing Zhongtian and the others' expressions changed drastically. Even the top powers of Shuiyu City couldn't accept that someone went from body condensation state to disaster transformation state in half a year. Gao family leader Gao Jingchao suddenly said, Did this kid do it when my Gao family members died in Shuiyu City? That's right, Gao family leader, your Gao family disciples and elders were all killed by this person. It was the #1 solo cultivator of Shuiyu City, Jiling chased Qin Feng to get the celestial stones, but Qin Feng escaped. Now that Qin Fen stepped into the disaster transformation realm, it was clear that he used up all the celestial stones to break through. Thinking about how Qin Fen used celestial stones to break through to the disaster transformation realm, Jiling wanted to crush his nascent soul. Did you just say that the sky ceiling formation above Snowfield City was set up by you? Xing Zhongtian didn't care about the grudges between Jiling and Qin Fen. He was more concerned about the survival of Snowfield City. Qin Feng said indifferently, The crack in the sky above Snowfield City has nothing to do with the sky ceiling formation that I set up. It was caused by the immortal stone formation that the Kobe sect set up. I have already found the next location of the immortal stone formation. As long as the formation is repaired, the crack will disappear automatically. What bullshit immortal stone grand array? You brat, you're just spouting nonsense. How dare you kill a disciple of my Gao clan? I'll bury you today. A strong murderous aura surged from Gao Jingchao's body, but before he could make a move, Xing Zhongtian's cold voice sounded, Now that we are in danger, don't put personal grudges first. Everything can wait until the disaster is resolved. Gao Jingchao was unwilling, but he was only at the peak of disaster transformation realm. He was no match for Xing Zhongtian. City Lord Xing. This ant killed several of my Gao family's disciples and elders. How can I let him off so easily? Plus, killing him is just a matter of raising my hand. It won't interfere with everyone's business. Gao Jingchao complained. Xing Zhongtian's eyes were cold as he stared at Gao Jingchao. He said he has a way to resolve this crisis. If you kill him, what will happen to the billions of cultivators in Snowfield City? City Lord Xing, don't listen to that brat's nonsense. He's just a level 1 disaster transformation realm ant. What can he do to resolve this crisis? I think he's just finding an excuse to live, Gao Jingchao said. If he really wanted to live, why would he come to Radiance Tower personally? Right now, Shuiyu City is in grave danger. We have no other choice but to trust this young hero for now. Xing Zhongtian paused for a moment before continuing. Gao family head, do you understand what I mean? Gao Jingchao understood. Actually, all the powerhouses present understood what Xing Zhongtian meant. Let Qin Feng live for now. It wouldn't be too late to kill him when he couldn't resolve the crisis. Humph. You're a lucky ant, but sooner or later, I will crush your nascent soul. Gao Jingchao could only give up. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't go against the city lord of Snowfield City. How could Qin Feng not understand what everyone else was saying? But he didn't care. He looked at Gao Jingchao coldly and said, I'm afraid you won't be able to wait much longer. The flames that Gao Jingchao suppressed instantly rose again. His body surged with true yuan and created a hurricane in the room. Little ant, what do you mean? Qin Feng smiled faintly and said, because I'm going to kill you now. You don't have much time left. Everyone froze. A strange aura floated in the room. They couldn't understand what Qin Feng was thinking. This was just a level 1 disaster transformation realm ant. Where did he get the confidence to challenge a peak disaster transformation realm master? Ha ha ha. As expected, an ant that doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. City Lord Xing, you saw it too. This ant is extremely arrogant. If I don't kill him, I won't be able to live in Snowfield City anymore. Rumble. As soon as he finished speaking, Gao Jingchao sent out a palm. The wild true yuan instantly condensed into a palm. It was like a cloud falling from the sky. Seeing this, Xing Zhongtian could only shake his head and sigh. He had already given Qin Feng a chance to live, but since this person didn't cherish it, then he couldn't dissuade Gao Jingchao. Just when everyone had already sentenced Qin Feng to death in their hearts, a loud sound exploded in their ears. Light Tower instantly exploded. The roof tiles flew everywhere and the building collapsed into ruins. Everyone was exposed on the empty mountain top. After a moment of silence, someone exclaimed, "Huh? That brat is still there." Everyone's expression changed. They immediately looked over and their eyes almost fell out of their sockets. So the loud sound came from Gao Jingchao's body. His true yuan surged and his aura was shocking. The armor on Gao Jingchao's body instantly shattered, and even his true body was blown to pieces. A mature nascent soul flew out from the explosion at an extremely fast speed, but Qin Feng reached out his hand to grab it. A giant hand made of true essence floated in the air, growing larger and larger until it seemed to cover half of the sky. Gao Jingchao's nascent soul was like the monkey sun, unable to escape from the palm of the Buddha. Crack! A faint cracking sound came from the void and was clearly heard by all the great existences. At this moment, everyone's expression changed. They had heard Gao Jingchao yelling that he was going to crush Qin Feng's nascent soul. Now, the truth had been reversed. His nascent soul had been crushed by Qin Feng. The battle seemed to have ended before it had started. A peak disaster transformation realm cultivator had been completely destroyed. Many people didn't even see clearly the strike of Tsang Qi that Qin Feng had used. It was the power of that strike that had destroyed Gao Jingchao's body. The aftermath of the true yuan was hard to eliminate. Explosions could be heard from the empty mountain top from time to time. Only after Gao Jingchao had died did the group of Snowfield City cultivators come back to their senses. Family leader Gao was killed in seconds? How is that possible? Where did that young man come from? Why is he so unfamiliar? He shouldn't be a cultivator from Snowfield City, right? To be able to kill a peak disaster transformation realm cultivator in seconds, his true realm must be above the true form realm. It's incredible that he has reached the true form realm at such a young age. Many powerful beings sighed with emotion. Any one of them was an extremely talented cultivator in Shuayu City. However, after seeing Qin Feng, the pride that these people had built up over the years instantly vanished into thin air. I originally wanted to kill all of you, but considering that Snowfield City and Modu are in danger, I will keep you alive to make up for your mistakes. After killing Gao Jingchao, Qin Feng's expression didn't change at all. It was as if he had just killed an ant. He was looking at Wang Lu Zhongming, Ji Ling, and the others. These old fellows had tried to kill Chu Fan and rob him in his flying immortal cave abode a few months ago. Fortunately, Qin Feng had been lucky enough to survive. His words shocked the crowd again. If someone else had said what Qin Feng had said, these top experts would have laughed their heads off. However, after seeing Qin Feng's power, Wang Lu Zhongming and the others didn't even have the confidence to stand up and refute him. Fellow Taoists, the situation is critical now. How about we put our personal grudges aside? Xing Zhongtian found a way for them to step down. Wang Lu Zhongming was the first to express his stance. I will listen to City Lord Xing's arrangements. Humph. I just killed a disaster transformation realm ant. What's there to be proud of? Do you know that the difference between a disaster transformation realm and a true form realm is like heaven and earth? Ji Ling grumbled. He wanted to regain some face. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a violent magnetic field rippled on the mountain peak. Then, a huge blue fireball appeared in the void like a rising sun. The fireball was extremely cold, instantly freezing the air on the mountain peak. Everyone was in Qin Feng's field. When they realized the danger, they realized that their bodies had been frozen and they couldn't move at all. At that moment, Qin Feng casually swung his saber. The weapon in his hand had a strange shape. It looked like a huge ruler, but when the saber swung down, the ruler swept up a dazzling purple light. The purple light flashed and disappeared, exploding on Ji Ling's body. Rumble. The commotion was so intense that the entire mountain peak was shaking. Qin Feng's attacks were all killing moves. He coordinated with the field, the ice heart flame, and the ruler to launch a sure kill attack. A series of moves were connected seamlessly. In the blink of an eye, the three attacks were unleashed to the extreme. By the time Ji Ling realized that death was approaching, his body had already exploded into ice shards and scattered on the mountain peak. The human-shaped nascent soul hadn't flown far before it was frozen by the snow and ice that filled the sky. A subtle cracking sound came from mid-air, and dense spiderweb-like cracks appeared on the surface of the ice layer. A few seconds later, there was a loud explosion. The human-shaped nascent soul also exploded into ice shards and scattered on the mountain peak. The mountain peak was silent for a long time. Wang Lu Zhongming and the others felt a chill in their hearts. They couldn't even feel the cold temperature around them. Dead? Big brother Ji Ling is also dead. Senior Ji Ling is the #1 itinerant cultivator in Snowfield City. He reached the true form realm more than 10 years ago. How could he die? Chapter 21:18. In fact, the ones who were the most shocked were Wang Lu Zhongming, Xia Wanshi, and the others. They had all participated in the exploration of 9 Heaven Snow Domain, so they knew very well what stage Qin Fen was at that time. However, it was precisely such an ant that returned mightily a few months later and annihilated Gao Jingchao and Silent Spirit with a raise of his hand. Even Qin Fen was somewhat surprised. He knew his current strength very well. He was invincible among the disaster transformation realm, but killing a true form mighty being was still a challenge. It was just like how he had heavily injured Ouyang Tian on the Demon Peak a month ago, but he had not killed him. As for being able to kill the first stage true form realm Ji Ling in one move, there was a lot of luck involved. First of all, Ji Ling had not expected that Qin Fen would still dare to attack when Xing Zhongtian had come to the rescue. Furthermore, all his attacks had been killing moves, leaving him no room to retaliate or resist. Now that he had established his might, Qin Feng put on the airs of an otherworldly expert and said, "Is there anyone else who isn't convinced by me? You can step forward." The mountain peak was completely silent. Silent Spirit's strength was already at the top of the group, and probably only Xing Zhongtian could compete with him. On the other hand, Xing Zhongtian had no enmity with Qin Feng. At most, he would be a little dissatisfied with Qin Feng's arrogance, but he would not shed all pretense of cordiality with Qin Feng over such a small matter. Moreover, the survival of Snowfield City was entrusted to Qin Feng. "Young hero Qin, did you say that you found the location of the sealed sky formation?" Xing Zhongtian wisely changed the topic. Qin Fen retracted his true yuan and said, "That sky-sealing grand formation is called the Immortal Stone Grand Formation. It's probably set up by the Eastfield Continent's Kobe sect. Once the Immortal Stone Grand Formation operates normally, the spiritual energy in the entire Divine Supreme Continent will gradually thin out, turning it into a cultivation wasteland." Their expressions changed drastically. This was the first time they had heard of the Immortal Stone Array. "Young hero Qin, where did you hear this news from? Isn't the Eastfield Continent's Kobe clan one of the top sects in the Divine Continent? Why would they set up a sky-sealing formation to prevent cultivators from ascending?" Xing Zhongtian was in disbelief. Even Qin Fen couldn't figure out the reason behind it. He initially thought that the higher-ups of the Kamiha clan had all entered the immortal realm, so they set up the sky-sealing formation to prevent other sects and cultivators from ascending to the immortal realm. That was how they controlled the entire Divine Supreme Continent. However, there were many things that did not make sense. If the higher-ups of the Kobe faction had ascended, how did they return to the Divine Continent? Moreover, they couldn't possibly ignore the other disciples of the Kobe faction, right? In this way, even the disciples of the Kobe sect would find it difficult to ascend to immortality. "I found this in the cave abode in the Nine Heavens Snow Domain. Take a look and you'll understand." Qin Fen threw out a jade scroll. It was Chu Fan's handwriting. More than a dozen powerful divine senses swept the jade slip, and a moment later, cries of alarm rang out. This was left behind by Chu Fan, the strongest cultivator of Shuayu City. "I didn't expect the Kobe sect, one of the top forces in the Divine Continent, to do such a crazy thing in the dark. It seems that what young hero Qin said is true. Let's quickly find the Immortal Stone Array and destroy it completely." There was one thing that Qin Fen didn't explain. Actually, the purpose of finding the celestial stone formation was to repair it, not to destroy it. Otherwise, the situation of the sky-splitting formation wouldn't be resolved. However, as long as the Immortal Stone Formation continued to exist, the cultivators on the Divine Supreme Continent would not be able to ascend to the Immortal Realm. This was obviously a method that the person who set up the formation had carefully considered. Destroying the spell formation would mean doomsday, but if it wasn't destroyed, he wouldn't be able to ascend to the celestial realm. It was a difficult choice. "Young hero Qin, where is the celestial stone formation that you found?" Xing Zhongtian trusted Qin Fen completely. "The Dead Sea, around the Quicksand River," Qin Fen answered truthfully. Wang Lu Zhongming was shocked. "What? The formation is at the Quicksand River. What should we do now?" The rest of the powerful cultivators looked distressed. As true form and disaster transformation cultivators, there were very few things that could baffle them. If the billions of cultivators in Shuiyu City saw this, they would definitely find it hard to understand. Can't we go to the quicksand river? Qin Fen raised an eyebrow. Xing Zhongtian sighed and said, sigh. It's not that we can't go, but it's a place with a high chance of survival. Perhaps young hero Qin doesn't know about the Dead Sea, but it's a forbidden place for ghost cultivators. It's shrouded in thick yin qi all year round, and it's completely unsuitable for human cultivators to live in. There's a perilous place in the Dead Sea called the Quicksand River. Legend has it that it's a barren land of sand without any vitality or spirit qi. Even ghost cultivators won't go there easily. Even if some brave cultivators go there to explore, they have never come out alive. Back then, the situation had been urgent, so Qin Fen hadn't listened to Hong Ming's detailed introduction of the Quicksand River. Now that he understood more from Xing Zhongtian, Qin Fen finally understood why these powerful cultivators were so afraid of the Quicksand River. We have to go to the Quicksand River no matter what. I've already promised the powerful cultivators of Devil City to meet at the entrance of the Quicksand River. Qin Fen's tone was unquestionable. Xing Zhongtian and the rest knew that there was no way out. When they found out that the powerful cultivators of Devil City were also going to explore the Quicksand River, they felt more at ease. Now that all the powerful cultivators of the two regions had gathered, there were at least 20 true-form cultivators. They believed that no matter how terrifying the Quicksand River was, there would still be hope of survival. 7 days later, the two teams met successfully. When Qin Fen led Xing Zhongtian and the rest to the entrance of the Quicksand River, Hong Ming and the other powerful cultivators of Devil City were already waiting there. Young hero Qin, the people on my side are all here. Hong Ming immediately went forward to welcome them. Qin Fen looked around and saw the Thunder Emperor, Nie Yuan, and the rest of the Devil City team. These people had conflicts with him, but Qin Fen wasn't in the mood to find trouble with them. However, he didn't see Ouyang Tian in the crowd. Just as Qin Fen was feeling puzzled, Hong Ming said, young hero Qin, Ouyang Tian was severely injured by your saber move that day. Then, I killed him. Qin Fen felt relieved. Although he had conflicts with the Thunder Emperor and the rest, they weren't mortal enemies. However, before entering the number 1 demonic mountain, Qin Fen had killed Ouyang Tian's youngest son, Ouyang Jun, in front of everyone. This had created a blood feud with Ouyang Tian. Now, Qin Fen had left a deep impression in the hearts of the Devil City cultivators. The scene of him using the Thunder Tribulation to blast the true form cultivators while breaking through to the disaster transformation realm was unforgettable. Originally, the Thunder Emperor and the rest had thought that Qin Fen had been taken away and killed by that mysterious person. Now that they saw Qin Fen again, they were all shocked. Thunder King, the sect leader of Shanghai's Thunder Sect, greets Senior Qin. Nie Yuan from the Sky Fiend Sect greets Senior Qin. Demon Venerable Bei Ming of the North Underworld Mountain swears to obey Senior Qin's orders. I only hope that Senior Qin can lead everyone to resolve this destructive calamity. When the mighty figures of Devil City returned to their senses, they took the initiative to greet Qin Fen. This scene stunned Xing Zhongtian and the rest. Although they had witnessed Qin Fen's powerful strength not long ago, they hadn't expected Qin Fen's status to be so noble. All the top-notch experts in Devil City had shown a humble attitude and even addressed him as senior. If everyone works together this time, we will definitely be able to resolve this crisis. Before they set off, Qin Fen boosted everyone's morale. Originally, the Orthodox Tao cultivators of Snowfield City and the Fiend cultivators of Devil City didn't interact with each other. In fact, they would fight whenever they met. Now, under Qin Fen's leadership, the top-notch experts of the two regions had temporarily formed an alliance. No one would believe this if they told others. Qianfen wasn't familiar with the Dead Sea. However, he quickly realized that Hongming, Xingzhongtian, and the rest had never been here before. This was the territory of the ghost cultivators. With their high statuses in their respective territories, if they entered the Dead Sea carelessly, it might even incite a war between the cultivators of the two regions. Just like Devil City, there was a huge rock at the entrance to the Dead Sea. On it, the two majestic words, Dead Sea, were written. Actually, the rock was the array door to enter the Dead Sea. With Qianfen's current standards as a level 8 array immortal, he quickly saw through this hidden array. When he leaped towards the huge rock, everyone didn't understand. However, when his body passed through the huge rock and disappeared into the barren desert, everyone immediately understood. So this stone tablet is the array door to the Dead Sea. This is really unexpected. Xingzhongtian sighed and jumped into the rock as well. The mighty figures of Snowfield City followed suit. After they had all entered the Dead Sea, Hongming led the experts of Devil City in as well. After passing through the array door, the scene before their eyes changed drastically. Although they were still in a boundless desert, the sky was gray. It was as if dark clouds had covered the sun, causing everyone's hearts to sink. The yin qi here is very heavy. Everyone, be careful. Xingzhongtian frowned. After Hongming entered, she prepared to scout ahead but was stopped by Qianfen. What's wrong, young hero Qin? Senior, don't be anxious. It's difficult to use one's divine consciousness in the Dead Sea. Some dangers are impossible to predict. It's better for me to use the heavenly fire to scout ahead. After Qianfen spoke, a ball of blue fire appeared in his hand. The flame in the ball of fire was in the shape of a two-petaled sunflower. In the thick dark fog, it looked very alluring. This is the Heavenly Fire Spirit Sunflower, which is ranked 20th. And it's a level 2 Spirit Sunflower Flame. Who exactly is young hero Qin? He has reached level 1 disaster transformation at such a young age and can kill true form experts. He also has two kinds of heavenly fire, the Ice Heart Flame and the Spirit Sunflower. This is too shocking. Everyone, be careful. There are ghosts up ahead. When the Spirit Sunflower Heavenly Fire appeared, it was as if a bright lamp had lit up the dark world. There were dozens of ghosts floating in the black fog. Moreover, the ghosts' consciousnesses were extremely powerful. They seemed to have formed divine consciousness. Hongming was the first to discover the danger and immediately sent a palm strike. There was a loud explosion. However, the quintessential essence palm did not have any effect on the ghosts. It felt like a ferocious punch had landed on cotton. The ghosts refined by ghost cultivators all exist with a trace of remnant consciousness. Ordinary quintessential essence attacks are useless against them. You can use the heavenly fire or divine consciousness attacks to destroy the ghosts, Xingzhongtian said. Hongming stopped her quintessential essence attack and sent out a ball of black fire. Qianfen immediately recognized that it was the Earth Fire Black Lotus, which was ranked 58th in the Divine Supreme Continent. However, when the Black Lotus appeared, the others did not have much of a reaction. Qianfen quickly understood. Everyone present was at the peak of disaster transformation realm and true form almighties. It was not strange for them to collect the earth fire that was ranked lower. Baidu search for Yunlai Pavilion's novel website and let you experience the latest and fastest novel updates. All the novels were updated in seconds. Chapter 21:19. When the Black Lotus flew over, a shrill scream was heard in the air. More than a dozen ghosts were instantly turned into ashes. This is only the entrance to the Dead Sea. It is already filled with ghosts. I believe that the deeper we go into the Dead Sea, the more ghosts there will be. Their cultivation levels will also be higher. We have to be careful. Hong Ming's expression was solemn. Even this second-stage true form Almighty did not dare to underestimate the danger of the Dead Sea. Everyone braced themselves and resumed their journey. Very soon, they realized a serious problem. The entire Dead Sea was shrouded in a thick, black fog. The sinister aura permeated the air. Even their divine senses could not scan too far away. They could not find a direction at all. This was everyone's first time at the Dead Sea. No one knew where the quicksand river was. Even if they had a map, they did not know when the map had been drawn. It did not match the current environment. Everyone, there is no need to check the map. It is fake, Qin Fen said. Young hero Qin, how can you tell that the map is fake? Hong Ming asked. According to everyone, the Dead Sea is a forbidden area of the West Sea continent. Other than the Ghost Cultivator clan, cultivators from other clans will die if they enter. How can a map be leaked? Everyone understood what Qin Fen meant. The Dead Sea was shrouded in a thick, black fog. Even the true form Almighty's divine senses could not scan it. It was impossible for other human cultivators or fiendish cultivators to do anything here. This showed that the map in everyone's hands was probably fake. It could also have been drawn by a ghost cultivator. Ghost cultivators would definitely not sell the real Dead Sea map. Therefore, it was difficult to distinguish the location on the map from the fake. Without a map to guide the way, we will not be able to find the quicksand river. What should we do now? Why don't we leave first? It will not be too late to enter the Dead Sea after we think of a countermeasure. The group of true form Almighties was solemn. They did not dare to relax in the Dead Sea. Before Qin Fen could make a decision, a cloud of black fog suddenly attacked them. This black fog was darker than the black fog that shrouded the Dead Sea. It was as if a black rain would fall from the clouds at any time. Ha! Who touched my head? Someone touched my back. Can you not joke at a time like this? The few mighty figures were shocked, and the rest immediately raised their vigilance. The atmosphere instantly became heavy. That black fog had unknowingly enveloped everyone. Within the black fog, there seemed to be dozens of pairs of eyes staring at them from behind. However, when one's divine sense locked onto them, they could not find anything. Where did this ghost come from? How dare you cause trouble in front of this king? Die! The Thunder Sovereign suddenly roared furiously and sent a palm strike behind him. The sound of thunder roiled, as if a bolt of lightning had fallen to the ground and smashed onto Nya Yuan, who was behind him. Fortunately, Nya Yuan reacted in time, and immediately took out a true artifact defensive cauldron. The large cauldron spun rapidly, blocking the Thunder King's attack. Thunder King, have you gone mad? Nya Yuan said furiously. The Thunder Sovereign was startled awake. With an embarrassed expression, he said, I'm sorry, Sect Master Nya. Earlier, I clearly used my spiritual sense to detect a sneak attack from behind. However, the moment I made a move, the Yin's soul disappeared. Actually, it was not just the Thunder King who felt this way. Everyone else felt the same way. It was as if there were countless eyes hidden in the darkness, watching everyone's every move. Take out the heavenly flame and disperse the black mist. As Qin Fen spoke, he took the lead and sent out several clumps of spirit sunflower flames. When the flames rose from the black mist, the faint blue light gradually spread out. Instantly, everyone felt much better. When everyone came back to their senses, various colored flames rose into the sky, and the black mist started to disperse quickly. The scene of over 10 heavenly flames appearing at the same time was a rare occurrence in 100 years, and it caused many almighty existences to exclaim in surprise. Qin Fen was also stunned for a moment, but he quickly came back to his senses. The heavenly flames in the hands of those almighty existences were all different, but their grades were all inferior to the spirit sunflower heavenly flame that he sent out, let alone the ice heart flame that he had subdued not long ago. That clump of black mist did not completely disperse. There should be some powerful soul hidden in this black mist, and it can even interfere with spiritual sense. If we stay in the black mist for a long time, there will definitely be problems. Anyway, we don't have a map anymore. Let's move forward first and take one step at a time. Everyone had no direction and could only move forward for now. They had to first get rid of the black mist behind them. However, after walking for an unknown period of time, that clump of thick black mist was still following behind them. It was like everyone's shadow. Young hero Qin, we seem to have been targeted. Hongming had a bad premonition. Qin Fen had already stopped. He realized that the clump of black mist seemed to be controlled by someone. It was not that everyone was escaping from the black mist's pursuit, but that the black mist was forcing everyone to go somewhere. This clump of black mist is strange. Everyone, join forces and see if we can destroy it. Under Qin Fen's command, over 20 almighty existences attacked at the same time. All sorts of heavenly flames floated in the sky. The almighty existences without fire seeds used their quintessential essence to attack. Rumble. When everyone's attacks merged, an intense explosion was instantly produced. The sky seemed to split open, and the ground shook incessantly. That clump of black mist instantly disappeared, and not even a trace of its afterimage could be found. However, everyone did not relax. Instead, their expressions became even more grave. When the black mist dissipated, an illusory figure floated in midair. That figure was wearing a black robe, and it almost merged with the originally gray sky. Who is causing trouble? Either leave quickly, or be killed by us. Although that figure in the sky has a powerful aura, it is not a physical body. It should be a soul or a divine will. Everyone's expressions changed drastically when someone mentioned divine will. That was the legendary divine will doppelganger that would only appear after one had stepped into the true God realm. Senior Hongming, what is divine will? It was Qin Fen's first time hearing that term. Hongming spoke quickly through her divine will. Young hero Qin, when one's martial arts realm reaches the tripod ekayana, the previous primordial spirit will condense into a nascent soul. The tripod ekayana, disaster transformation, and true form realms are the nascent soul's natural growth process. When one steps into the true God realm, the nascent soul that has already grown into a human will transform again and become a mature individual with divine will. It is called divine will. Divine will is extremely powerful. It can kill people invisibly and take their lives from 1,000 miles away. Even some true form almighties can die under divine will. Qin Fen felt a chill in his heart after hearing Hongming's explanation. He said in disbelief, if that's the case, doesn't that mean that the enemy in front of us has already stepped into the true God realm? Everyone fell silent. They had realized the existence of divine will earlier than Qin Fen and had already associated it with divine venerables in the true God realm. However, after a while, Xing Zhongtian said, this might not be a real divine will, but a pseudo-divine will. Everyone was confused. Wang Lu Zhongming asked, City Lord, what is a pseudo-divine will? Xing Zhongtian explained, a pseudo-divine will is similar to a divine will, but it is not a divine will. Everyone knows that the Dead Sea's ghost cultivators have many tricks up their sleeves. It is common for them to kill people of a higher realm. It is not surprising that they have a pseudo-divine will. City Lord Xing is right. Don't scare yourselves. I fought with the Ghost King of the Dead Sea more than 10 years ago. He had just stepped into the true form realm then. How could he have broken through to the true God realm in such a short time? Demon Venerable Northdark said. Everyone regained their confidence. After they calmed down, they realized that they had made a fuss. If a true God realm divine venerables had really appeared in the Dead Sea, they would have gone to Snowfield City and Mo to start a massacre based on their ferocious nature. They would not have remained silent for so long. Humph. You bunch of ants barged into the Dead Sea Forbidden Zone without permission. Are you planning to start a war? A voice came from the black shadow in the void. Demon Venerable North Dark shouted, "It is indeed the Ghost King." I remember his voice. They had just entered the Dead Sea not long ago. They had not expected to attract the Ghost King. He was a famous ghost cultivator leader in the entire West Sea continent. It was enough to raise everyone's vigilance. Xing Zhongtian cupped his fists in the air and said, "Ghost King. This time, we had no choice but to barge into the forbidden area of the Dead Sea. Right now, cracks have appeared in the sky above Snow Domain City and Demonic City, and there is only one way to fill up those dislocated spaces, and that is to repair the Great Sky Ceiling Formation." Humph. What does that have to do with the Dead Sea's ghost cultivators? If you don't leave now, don't blame me for being rude. The Ghost King's tone was cold. There was no room for negotiation. Good and evil could not coexist. If it had been any other time, Xing Zhongtian would have led his people to fight the Ghost King. However, they had to swallow their anger now that they were in trouble. "That's because the sky ceiling array is near the Dead Sea's quicksand river," Xing Zhongtian said. The black shadow in the air was silent for a moment. Suddenly, he laughed maniacally, "Hee hee hee. You should have discussed your lies beforehand. You have the nerve to tell such a lie that can fool a 3-year-old child? I am the supreme being of the Dead Sea. I have lived in the Dead Sea for close to 1,000 years. Why haven't I heard of any sky ceiling array in the Dead Sea?" Xing Zhongtian suppressed his anger and said, "This matter is complicated. The sky ceiling array was not originally in the Dead Sea. However, due to various reasons, it has landed near the quicksand river. In any case, don't interfere with this matter. Once we find and repair the array, we will leave on our own." As soon as Xing Zhongtian finished speaking, a strong gust of wind swept through the sky. The black fog instantly condensed and formed a huge vortex that connected heaven and earth. The Ghost King's angry roar came from the black fog vortex. A bunch of ants dare to cause trouble in the Dead Sea. Do you really think that we, the ghost cultivators, are easy to bully? If you don't leave now, you will die here. Everyone felt helpless. In fact, even they did not dare to believe that the array had shifted. If Qin Feng had not taken out the jade scroll that Chu Fan had left behind and displayed his extraordinary abilities, no one in Snowfield City would have followed him to explore the Dead Sea. Since you don't want Snowfield City and Demonic City to have an easy time, then we can only fight to the death. Xing Zhongtian did not back down. Hong Ming took a step forward, and a violent essential ether surged from her body to show Demonic City's attitude. The black fog vortex that connected heaven and earth grew larger and larger, as if it had covered half the sky of the Dead Sea. As the Ghost King roared, the vortex suddenly moved and surged toward the crowd with the force of a tsunami. "With just a few ants like you. You really overestimate yourselves. First, set a small goal. For example, remember in 1 second, Booksellers Mobile." Chapter 21-20. The black fog surged like a wave and engulfed the crowd instantly. Even a group of peak true form and disaster transformation realm experts lost their way when they entered the black fog. Immediately, there were ghostly wails and wolf howls. There were countless ghosts in the black mist. The howls made people's scalps tingle. Even these truth realization state powerful beings' minds were disturbed. Everyone, be careful. This is a divine consciousness attack. Qin Fen immediately sent a quintessential essence message. This was not the first time he had fought with ghost cultivators, so he knew some of their techniques. Everyone immediately sealed their divine consciousness to stop the chaotic sounds from entering their minds. Some people had already launched a counterattack. Although the quintessential essence attack was fierce, it had no effect on the ghosts in the black fog. Although Qin Fen reminded everyone, he did not seal his sea of consciousness. Moreover, he did not use his true essence to attack. He did not even use his heaven fire. Instead, he circulated the soul returning technique and used his powerful divine sense cultivation method to cut the millions of Yin souls in the black fog. This move was immediately effective. The ghosts, which even the quintessential essence of a true form expert could not kill, were vulnerable to the soul returning technique. The moment Qin Fen used his divine consciousness, the divine consciousness blade could cut a large number of ghosts. However, the moment he saw the effect, he immediately stopped using the soul returning technique. This was because there were countless spirits in the black fog. If he were to rely on his divine sense alone, he would not be able to kill them all even after a year and a half. In a place like the Dead Sea, the soul returning technique was his only trump card. It was best not to use it unless it was absolutely necessary. Even though he had stopped using the soul returning technique, the Ghost King still sensed that the black fog vortex that connected the sky and the earth had clearly paused for a moment, as if it was frozen in the sky. There was no movement at all. Humph. It's just a struggle before death. The moment you stepped into the Dead Sea, your lives were already counting down. The Ghost King's words baffled everyone, but only Qin Fen could understand what he was saying. Qin Fen was nervous. After a moment, he heaved a sigh of relief because the Ghost King did not attack him alone. This meant that although the Ghost King had sensed the divine consciousness attack, he did not know who had done it. Young hero Qin, what should we do now? The ghosts in the black fog are too strong. We must leave immediately. Everyone, stay close. Don't get separated. The crowd was in chaos. In the vast black fog, even the true form and disaster transformation realm experts could feel the faint aura of death. I'll take the lead. Everyone follow behind me. Qin Fen made a decision and clapped his hands. Spirit sunflower flames shot out, opening a path in front of him. He stepped on his sword and rushed forward, trying to break out of the black fog. More than 20 mighty beings followed suit, and at the same time, they also took out their own heavenly flames, forming a magnificent scene in the black fog. The dozen or so heavenly flames of different colors were like twinkling stars in the night sky. The black fog was boundless. And everyone flew at full speed, but they were still. The black fog was of heaven. We were bewitched by the formation. Qin Feng, who was leading the way, suddenly stopped. He believed that no matter how powerful the Ghost King was, the black fog it formed could not be so majestic. Of sect of formation. Of sect. Dao. Dao Saint Sect, and in the distance of the realm. Of Nya Yuan, the sect leader of Dao Saint Sect, said, that aura seems to be shrouding us all the time. Qin Fen had sensed the aura a long time ago, but he hadn't cared at first. He'd thought it was a formation to strengthen the black fog's attack. After flying for several hours without being able to get out of the black fog, Qin Fen was sure it was a field formation. Speaking of field formations, the lowest was a level 6 Grandmaster formation. This kind of formation was usually created along with the field. It was a formation set up by the person who set up the formation in his field. When Qin Feng had obtained the 7-colored Ghost Face Soul banner, it was a bit like a field formation. We've been in the Ghost King's field, Qin Fen said honestly. Everyone was shocked. Young hero Qin, are you sure we're in the Ghost King's field? No wonder my quintessential essence was suppressed so much. I thought it was because of the ghosts. It turns out we've entered the Ghost King's field. That old ghost is consuming everyone's quintessential essence. When our quintessential essence is used up, he can easily kill us at any time. The group of experts became nervous. In someone else's field, everything was up to the opponent. Everyone, use your own fields and leave with me. Qianfen had already expanded his field. When his fields surrounded everyone, many experts revealed shocked expressions. They hadn't expected Qianfen to have comprehended the field to initial success. Actually, it wasn't rare for disaster transformation state cultivators to comprehend the field to initial success, but everyone knew that Qianfen was only at body condensation state mid-stage a few months ago. Comprehending the field wasn't something that could be completed in a day. It seemed that Qianfen had at least touched the edge of the field a few months ago. Body condensation state mid-stage cultivators had just started to comprehend the realm, but he had already touched the edge of the field. This was a bit terrifying. However, after a brief moment of astonishment, everyone unleashed their respective fields. Qianfen even felt a few more powerful magnetic fluctuations in the air. It was obvious that they were no longer within the scope of a field. Someone must have comprehended the existence of a domain. More than 20 arenas overlapped, and a few domains shrouded the area. The entire sky surged, and the air formed ripples like waves on water. The black mist was dispersed by the rippling airflow and gradually drifted into the distant sky. Everyone's vision became clear, but they heard the Thunder King scream, "Not good. We've fallen into a trap." That old ghost didn't want to use the black fog to kill people, but to confuse us into a place of despair. When everyone saw the scene in front of them, they immediately understood what the Thunder King meant. They didn't know where they were now. The surroundings were still covered in the black fog. The black fog in the sky was tens of times thicker than at the entrance of the Dead Sea. It was like a layer of black rain floating in the sky. Under their feet was a boundless black sand. They couldn't feel a trace of spirit chi or vitality. It made them feel despair. What is this place? We're completely lost. Even if the Ghost King doesn't do anything, we probably won't be able to leave the Dead Sea for the rest of our lives. Just as everyone was panicking, a strange laugh came from the sky. GGG. Welcome everyone to Quicksand River. Didn't you come here to find the formation? This king sent you here out of kindness. Don't thank me. Enjoy the scenery of Quicksand River. The voice came from a distant place. It was just a divine sense transmission of the Ghost King. Everyone was pleasantly surprised. They were just looking for Quicksand River. They didn't expect the Ghost King to send them here. Is that old ghost so kind? I think it's better for everyone to be careful. After the surprise, Hongming raised her guard. Qianfeng's eyes darted around. He said, "Maybe this really is Quicksand River." "Young hero Qin, what do you mean?" Xing Zhongtian asked. "The Ghost King doesn't know we're here to find Quicksand River. He doesn't even believe we're here for Quicksand River. He thinks our words are an excuse. He thinks that the powerful cultivators of Demonic City and Snowfield City are working together to eradicate the Dead Sea's ghost cultivators. He never thought that we're really here for Quicksand River." Qianfen's explanation enlightened everyone. If they were in his shoes, the Ghost King would really have sent them to Quicksand River. This was because this was the most dangerous place in the Dead Sea. Who knew how many almighty cultivators had fallen here? "Young hero Qin, since we're here, hurry up and find the formation," Xia Wancher said anxiously. He didn't want to stay a moment longer in the Dead Sea. He Qianjin frowned. If this is really Quicksand River's territory, I didn't sense any formation ripples on the way here. Is there really a sky-ceiling formation here? Demonic City's formation King Nia Yuan also raised his doubts. "Young hero Qin, did you remember the wrong place? Everyone rolled their eyes. If Qin Feng dared to say he remembered wrongly, they would definitely attack him together. Qin Feng shook his head and said firmly, there's no mistake. Senior He Shihan was the one who deduced the formation's location. It's the senior who appeared at the Demon Mountain and took away the thousands of devouring immortal bugs. Qin Feng was afraid that everyone didn't know who He Shihan was, so he explained it to the powerful cultivators of Demonic City. However, everyone's expression changed drastically. Even the people from Snowfield City were shocked. Young hero Qin, do you think that mysterious person is Senior He Shihan? Hong Ming raised her voice. Senior Hong Ming knows He Shihan. I can't say I know him, but I admire him. I believe I'm not the only one who admires him. Everyone here also admires him, Hong Ming said emotionally. Qin Feng immediately realized He Shihan was a big shot. However, it made sense after thinking about it. That old man was at least a true god. How could he be someone ordinary if he could take away the devouring immortal bugs? Xing Zhongtian regained his senses and said in a trembling voice, rumor has it that Senior He was the #1 ultimate god in the Dongye continent 100 years ago. The All-Heaven sect he was in charge of was one of the few 9-star sects in the Dongye continent. His cultivation realm was unfathomable, and it was only a matter of time before he entered the celestial world. However, he disappeared in the past 100 years. Many people thought he had either died or entered the celestial world. Qin Feng could not help but sigh when he learned about He Shihan's story. Being the #1 ultimate god in the Dongye continent was equivalent to being the strongest person in the entire divine continent. At the same time, Qin Feng thought of something else. He remembered He Shihan saying that he had been sealed in the cave residence in the Purple Cloud Mountains for 100 years. It was obvious that his disappearance 100 years ago was not his intention. How powerful was He Shihan's opponent to be able to seal him in the cave residence? Qin Feng did not dare to think too deeply about it as it was not a level he could reach at the moment. Moreover, the most important thing at the moment was to find the fairy stone formation and repair it as soon as possible. So Senior He didn't enter the celestial world. I wonder why he suddenly appeared at this time. You guys really saw He Shihan? Why did he appear in the West Sea continent? Everyone's topic shifted to He Shihan and even forgot about their serious business and the crisis they were in. First, set a small goal. For example, remember in 1 second, Booksellers Mobile. Chapter 21-21. Qin Feng quickly changed the topic. Everyone. Finding the immortal stone array is the most important thing right now. We can talk about other things later. Everyone came back to their senses. Hong Ming said, young hero Qin. Nia Yuan said that he did not sense the aura of the array. Did you discover anything? Everyone placed their hopes on Qin Feng. He was clearly the youngest in the group and had the lowest cultivation level, but he shocked everyone again and again. But this time, Qin Feng did not sense anything. He shook his head and said, there is indeed no aura of the array nearby. Perhaps the immortal stone array is not here. Why don't we split up and look around? If we split up, we might be defeated by the ghost cultivators one by one, the Thunder King said worriedly. It seems like the Ghost King does not intend to attack at the moment. So, we need to hurry and find the array to repair it, Qin Feng said. I agree with young hero Qin's suggestion. Regardless of whether the Ghost King intends to attack us, we don't have much time. Right now, there are countless cracks in the sky above Demonic City and Snowfield City. Billions of cultivators are in dire straits. We have no way out. We can only kill our way out with blood. Hong Ming's words boosted everyone's morale. These almighties usually schemed against each other, but in the face of a devastating disaster, they were the leaders that Almighties should be. Then let's split into 3 groups. Each group will be led by an array expert, Xing Zhongtian suggested. The 20-odd Almighties quickly split into 3 groups, led by Qin Fen, He Qianjun, and Nie Yuan. The 3 groups headed in different directions. They agreed that once any group found the immortal stone array, they would immediately send a flying sword message to the other groups. Although the Ghost King had already brought everyone to Quicksand River, it was vast and boundless. It was half the size of Snowfield City. Moreover, the surrounding environment was terrible. It was shrouded in gray and black fog. It was difficult to even distinguish north, south, east, and west. Young hero Qin, it's not a good idea to keep searching like this. I'm afraid we won't find any results even after a year. Hongming put away her flying sword and landed on the black sand. Apart from Hongming, Xing Zhongtian, Xia Wanshi, the Thunder Sovereign, and the others were also following Qin Fen. Actually, Wang Lu Zhongming, Dark North Demon Exalt, and the other Almighties also wanted to follow Qin Fen's team. They had an inexplicable feeling that they would only be able to survive if they followed Qin Fen. However, in order to balance out the 3 teams, they were split up into the other 2 teams. Qin Fen furrowed his brows as he stood in the vast black sand. He tried his best to extend his divine sense, but the black mist in the Quicksand River was like a solid wall that completely blocked his divine sense. The visibility in the black fog was less than 5 meters, and it was impossible to use divine sense to observe the terrain. Under such conditions, trying to find the immortal stone array was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Master! You can let the hunting turtles try to find it. Little Pig's voice suddenly sounded. Qin Fang's eyes lit up. The hunting turtles were fast and small, so it was easy to find things in a place like Quicksand River. Moreover, the hunting turtles were level 9 star beasts and were extremely sensitive to all kinds of auras. As long as it could smell the aura of the immortal stone array, it would definitely be able to find the immortal stone array accurately. However, Qin Feng didn't have the immortal stone array, but he still had a few phoenix flowers with him. As long as the immortal stone array appeared, the phoenix flowers and the spirit marrow pool would definitely appear. A black shadow the size of a fingernail flashed by and quickly blended into the vast black fog. It didn't attract the attention of the Almighties at all. The hunting turtles had already flown far away, and Qin Feng immediately followed on his sword. He was afraid that if he was a step slower, he wouldn't be able to keep up with the hunting turtle's speed. Young hero Qin, where are you going? Everyone was confused. They were discussing a strategy to find the immortal stone array. Why did Qin Feng run away by himself? Everyone, quickly follow me. I can find the immortal stone array quickly. Qin Feng didn't have time to explain. While his voice was still echoing in the air, his figure had already flown thousands of meters away. The group of Almighties immediately followed. Even though they had a strong and vigorous quintessential essence aura, they had no idea where to find the array at all. The hunting turtles quickly adapted to the environment of Quicksand River, and their speed increased. Hongming and the other Almighties felt that they were almost unable to keep up with Qin Feng. Furthermore, they couldn't see anything at all as they flew at such a high speed. It felt like they were speeding through a space-time tunnel. Young hero Qin, are you sure you haven't found the wrong place? The Thunder King asked. He found it hard to imagine how Qin Feng was able to determine the direction of the terrain while flying at such a high speed. Actually, Qin Feng was the same as everyone else. He couldn't see anything clearly at all. However, he didn't need to see. He just had to keep up with the hunting turtles. After flying for half a day, the hunting turtles suddenly slowed down. When Qin Feng put away his flying sword and landed on an empty patch of black sand, his eyes flickered with a strange light. Wow! What a beautiful scene. Is this still Quicksand River? Rumor has it that Quicksand River is a desolate place in the Dead Sea. There's no vitality or spiritual chi here, but there's a spirit vein here. This doesn't make sense at all. All the Almighties who landed revealed astonished expressions. Ever since everyone entered the Dead Sea, all they saw was a desolate scene of black sand. There wasn't even a single weed or small tree to be seen. However, a river appeared several hundred meters ahead of them. The river water was black, and it seemed to have merged with the vast sand. However, the river water flowed slowly and reflected a faint light. It was like a Milky Way under the black night sky. Perhaps this is the real Quicksand River, Qin Feng suddenly said. Young hero Qin, what do you mean? Hong Ming's expression changed. Since it's called Quicksand River, it naturally has something to do with a river. The spirit vein in front of us is like a flowing river of sand. Perhaps this is how the Dead Sea's Quicksand River got its name. Qin Feng's explanation made sense. Many Almighties revealed enlightened expressions. The Thunder King immediately asked, Young hero Qin, why did you suddenly stop? Could the formation be nearby? Qin Feng had stopped because the hunting pincer had stopped. Or rather, the hunting pincer had not landed on the sand. Instead, it had plunged into the Black River. The river could block divine senses and even cut off the connection between Qin Feng and the hunting pincer. When the hunting pincer entered the Quicksand River, Qin Feng didn't know where it had gone. It's very likely that the formation is at the bottom of this Quicksand River, Qin Feng said. If that's really the case, then let's quickly enter the bottom of the river. Hong Ming's expression became excited. It was as if she saw the hope of resolving this disaster. Qin Feng waved his hand and stopped her. Since Quicksand River is called the Dead Sea's perilous place, there's naturally a reason for it. This Quicksand River is very strange. It's not a real spiritual spring, but it has formed a spirit vein. Everyone, don't be rash. It's best to understand the situation first. First, set a small goal. For example, remember in 1 second, Booksellers Mobile. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.